ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Legit number one producer Jesse Nelson is in the Overlight Solar ESPN Madison studios.
Now I know what Alan Lazard felt like. Or Romeo Dobbs.
Wanted to make sure you had the chance to get that in. And from his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing without the kids and the wife? And you hanging in there? Or are you regretting not going? Where are we at?
I'm great. I'm really good. No complaints. Things are going swimmingly here at the house. And trying to make it work tonight to go see the UWGB women with Dan in Brothertown, father-in-law of the head coach. So
that'll be fun. Can't wait to hear the report back tomorrow.
I know. That's part of the reason. I mean, I want to watch good basketball, and they've won 12 in a row, but part of the reason is for content purposes as well.
6 o'clock tip, ESPN Plus.
Is that right?
Yeah. Youngstown State coming to town. Penguins.
6 o'clock is 6 o'clock is a good start time. Tausch, didn't you almost go to Youngstown State instead of the NFL?
I almost did. Yes, well, no, it would have been both. But, yeah, Youngstown State could have been part of my story. Yep.
Well, so the 99 season that you blocked for Ron Dane would have been the year you would have been at Youngstown State?
That is correct, yes.
And then Ron Wolf would have had to draft you out of Youngstown State in 2000 instead of out of the University of Wisconsin. The most popular right tackle in the history of the University of Wisconsin. It's the view pretty good from the cheap seats, JJ. All right, so you were a good teammate. You are a good teammate now to us most of the time. I am curious, is Josh Jacobs a good teammate? And for those who have not heard this yet, he was at Radio Row yesterday in New Orleans at the Super Bowl, promoting some sort of USAA event that he was doing. And he appeared in a number of interviews, spent some time with Kay Adams.
Just for the record, if he's not on our show promoting it, we don't have to promote what he was promoting, just so you know. Like, I understand
that's a good line to draw.
What if he was?
Listen, man, if he's promoting an ice cream shop and we want it because we've carved that out, great. But I don't think we need to promote what he's promoting on another person's show. Like, that makes no sense to me.
I didn't feel like I really promoted it there. I just sort of.
You did more than you should have.
It felt like an unnecessary tidbit.
Yeah.
Fair.
Thanks, Jesse, because you're 100% right.
Be that as it may, he appeared on a myriad of programs. Kay Adams, Pro Football Talk Live, some other stations, including a competitor of ours that's down there. And basically, he was talking all wide receivers all the time. He talked about other stuff. I watched his interview with your buddy Mike Florio and Chris Sims. But the bottom line is that he really thinks they need a number one wide receiver. Here's what he said to the Pro Football Talk guys when he appeared with them yesterday.
Presented by who? Who is that presented by?
With us being the youngest team in the NFL, the field is definitely good. I would say that, like, you don't have no guys that's complacent. You have guys that's still willing to work because they trying to make a name for themselves and figure it out.
Right.
And obviously winning. But I think that the thing for me that I seen the most was the difference was the little things, the details, the penalties, fourth and, whatever, making that play.
Yeah,
them 4 to 5 plays, we didn't really come up with them a lot this year in general. I would say that's the biggest thing. And then we probably missing like 2 or 3 pieces. And once we get that, we'll be all right.
What pieces?
Yeah. I would say, I think we need another DN.
Okay.
I think we need another DB, and then I think we need a wide receiver. Like, I love the guys that we have in the receiver room. They all have potential to be one.
Right.
but we need a guy that's proven to be one.
Right, command some double coverage every
Most
now and then,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Christian Watson's talented as hell, but hurt a lot with his hamstrings.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Great job,
has,
Chris.
impressive, right?
He's impressive,
Right,
man.
right.
Like, when he got it going, he's a guy.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Tausch, your reaction.
So I have a couple of things, and this is a different era. I would never have said that when I played. Now,
No,
I'm
you
not
wouldn't
Josh Jacobs either. I also am well aware I'm not Josh Jacobs. Okay? Josh Jacobs is the best, arguably, he was the best offensive player on this team. Mm-hmm. Make an argument, he was top 2 or 3 players on that roster last year. So you do get more leniency in your conversations. But I've noticed something about today's player. They all want to be talk show hosts. Players want to make sure their opinions, and I like it. I am totally on board with it. I don't love it from a teammate standpoint, but it's a new era, and I can sit here in the past and say, well, I wouldn't have done that, or I would have hoped my teammates wouldn't do that. Like if Josh Jacobs got up there and said, boy, I really think we need a new left guard. I ain't happy if I'm Elton Jenkins. That's not what he said, but
Sure.
We said this yesterday a little bit. I don't like the fact that you're calling out specific positions, but that's what the new era is. And guys are out there promoting different brands, and they have to do things that are interesting, and it's Mike Florio's job. It's our job. We're trying to get compelling content that people want to talk about, and Josh gave it to everybody yesterday. Because I can assure you, the receivers, we saw how they reacted, and I don't blame them, but I also don't, from Josh's standpoint, there was too much sloppiness this year. Now, is Josh Jacobs going to be all right when Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed is down at Radio Row and he says we need our running back not to put the ball on the ground? Are they going to be okay with that? Because that's what this breeds. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that part of it, but it doesn't seem like today's era, it's not as big of a deal. So I don't love calling that stuff out, but again, it's just a different era. And the fact that Josh, as a leader on this team, understands what they're doing isn't good enough, I'm all in on. But what I want to make sure doesn't happen, and this is where that locker room, most important room in the building, there's a fragility to it. And things like this break groups up. You don't think there needs to have a conversation at some point between Josh and the receiving corps, as I can assure you, the receiving corps ain't going to look at Josh Jacobs as being like, man, I am so glad you called me out, and I'm so glad you got Devontae in here to take my reps. Like, that's not how the locker room works. But when you're a team, you have a standard to live by. Josh didn't think that this offensive group was going to be good enough to win because it wasn't. And as a leader on that team, you have to speak some tough truths. And there's going to be things come back at you. As long as you're secure in that, and that is what the end goal was, I don't have a problem with what Josh said. I just think that locker room, I would be on high alert from a fragility standpoint, because guys that are already kind of on that cusp, we've seen it, on that cusp of insecurity, yesterday didn't help in that department.
So, all right, a few things I want to kind of talk through here with you and get your insights upon. First of all, Matt LaFleur mentioned this. I did not know this until he brought it up after the loss to the Bears in the regular season finale. They have a mantra at 1265 Lombardi Avenue. It's on one of the walls. I think it's in the team meeting room.
Wesley Walls.
Everson Walls.
Mike Walls.
As a stretch. Standards over feelings. That obviously would be a problem for me because I'm a big feelings guy. But when you say that, sounds to me like Josh Jacobs took that, put it into the public sphere where he shouldn't have, perhaps. But did the wide receivers live up to the standards? No.
No.
Does saying this hurt their feelings? Yes.
Yes. That's why I don't have a problem.
Feelings.
I don't have a problem with what Josh did. I wouldn't like it, but obviously from a media standpoint, I love it.
Right.
But
obviously.
from a locker room standpoint, I just hope Josh, and listen, man, Josh Jacobs had a great season. Great season.
Uh-huh.
And when you get that, your voice gets magnified. But he has to know when he does that, there are ripples that go through. And it is going to set through. And those receivers know they need to be better. That's not saying anything out of turn, right?
Uh-huh. Right.
But for it's not like Josh Jacobs is gone. These guys are all going to be back in that locker room in April. And I like the fact that you have guys calling things out. Hey, we're not doing this. We need to practice this better. We need this. Holding guys accountable is what leadership, and that is a tough thing to do. Josh did it, and he did it in a public forum. And unfortunately, and I'm sure he could text and call and talk to, but you can't really
unring the bell,
swerve that thing back in, yeah. And guys' feelings are going to be hurt. And unfortunately, like in the old days, guys got their feelings hurt all the time. It was private. But, yeah, you heard more stuff. Now, guys miss practice. Guys' feelings gets hurt, and they don't show up to play. It's a different era. And you have to understand how your guys – I think Jaden Reed will respond to this great. I know he's not happy on Twitter. I think he's going to respond to this in a big way. Anybody understand how Romeo Dobbs is going to respond to that? I don't know.
Not great, Bob, I'm guessing.
It didn't seem like Tay Wicks was too impressed with his response. And this is where understanding your guys and then understanding you're going to say stuff. What if Tay Wicks comes like, yeah, I think our running game needs to be more explosive. Josh has been great, for 8 to 10 yards, but we didn't really have any home runs. Is that the kind of locker room you want? And just look at a big picture. I don't know how it all works, but I can assure you guys, you hope you have a bunch of guys that are, look at me. I want to find out what can I do? I was always taught it's, when you're talking injuries and play, group-wise, when there's success, it's we. When it's, what could I do? What could our unit have done? Uh-huh. I never once got up and said, gosh, I wish Greg Jennings would have ran his slant route at 6 yards instead of 4. I'm not doing that. And just like when we had a team meeting and guys got after the O-line had to stand up and say, okay, great, but it gets contentious. That's good in a private setting.
Conflict is good.
Publicly, it can just go so many different ways. But I am on Team Josh Jacobs on this. I don't have a problem, but just understand I don't know what those ripple waves are going to look like when it comes to everybody else in that locker room. That's the thing with young players that haven't gotten paid and want to eat. And you're telling them, you guys aren't good enough, we need to get somebody else. And preferably my old buddy Devontae is who we want to get in here. And by the way, that means one of y'all are gone. That's basically what Josh Jacobs said yesterday.
Let's get into that next.
That's how those boys are hearing it anyways.
Well, let's get into that next, because I also think that is a component of this, that if he didn't have a wide receiver one in mind, maybe he doesn't make these comments at all. We will get into that coming up. I know this. Our window number one is always Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Oh, and Jason and I, we got something cooking, too, with Gina. We got something cooking, and it's coming up. I'm not going to get into that today, but there's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all of your questions answered. Visit Pella at the Nari Spring Hope and Home Improvement Show, February 14th through the 16th. Nothing more romantic than going to the Spring Home Improvement Show. I can tell you that right now. Get windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show, and you receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and Pella Care inspection. That's all as a part of booking that in-home consultation at the NARI Spring Home Show. Again, that is February 14th through the 16th. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. Certain restrictions do apply.
Do we agree that they need a real number one wide receiver, which is what Josh Jacobs said? We'll answer that question next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, Josh DiMaggio here. Don't be like me and wait till the last minute. Valentine's Day is almost here. Impress that special someone with a handcrafted bouquet from Flowers for Dreams. Order a bouquet online at flowersfordreams.com or visit their Walker's Point location. Use code ESPN at checkout for 15% off your bouquet, or this year, try something new with tickets to their date night open studio workshop on Friday, February 14th. Every Valentine's bouquet benefits an amazing local Milwaukee charity. That's flowersfordreams.com, code ESPN.
At UW Credit Union, our home loans have everything you need for your next big step, including up to $750 off closing costs for all home buyers. And first-time buyers can save even more. So if you're ready to trade roomies for more room, or your townhome for an out-of-town home, UW Credit Union will be with you from start to furnished. UW Credit Union. Apply online today. Equal housing lender. Credit may be limited as required by program. Visit uwcu.org for details.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down! Oh, yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
When it comes to sending last-minute Valentine's Day gifts, nobody delivers like Target Circle 360. Get the perfect surprise delivered right to their door with Target Circle 360's unlimited same-day delivery on orders over $35. Start with a dozen red roses, then choose from our delicious assortment of favorite day candy and more. Crush your Valentine's Day celebration by sending something to everyone on your list. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Get ready, Oak Creek. Tsunami Express is making a splash with a brand new location at 6900 South 27th Street. Join the grand opening celebration February 12th through the 23rd. Enjoy free washes and snag an unbeatable deal. Just $5 for your first month of unlimited washes. Plus, 100% of the grand opening proceeds go to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. Make a difference while getting your car sparkling clean at Tsunami Express in Oak Creek. See you there. Offer valid for new members only. Terms and conditions apply.
Show the world what your business is made of with 3 Tree Marketing.
So at 3 Tree, we're storytellers through merchandise. Every brand we work with has a unique story, and we're there to tell it using merchandise, display, appreciation, and gifting.
President Kevin Van Rossum knows that's important.
There's promo peddlers again, or tchotchke vendors, or whatever cliche people want to use. But we work with our client partners to become an extension of their team. We provide ideas, unique offerings that fit budget, timing, as well as messaging.
Check out why 3 Tree is the partner you need. 3treemarketing.com.
Game night Wenzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. Don't let the chilly weather end your golf season. X-Golf and American Family Field is open all year round. They've got innovative and accurate golf simulators, all overlooking left field at AmFam Field. Enjoy daily lunch specials or have an outing with your friends and take in X-Golf's full bar and food menus. X-Golf AmFam Field is even offering golf lessons by a PGA pro. Everyone is welcome at X-Golf AmFam. Book your sim today, xgolfamfamfield.com. I'll see you out there.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Josh Jacobs, I don't want to get bogged down into should he or should he not have said these things.
Well, do you think he should have or shouldn't have?
No, not publicly. But that doesn't mean he's wrong, right? I mean, by the way, he's also right.
Do you want your teammates to be holding you accountable?
Privately. Yeah. Not publicly.
What if that didn't work?
Well, maybe that's how he feels, right? I mean, look, we've had this conversation before. It was just about Aaron Rodgers saying things, whether he should or shouldn't have said them publicly. And I believe the argument when he would critique wide receivers publicly was that he tried privately and it didn't work, so now he's trying publicly to see if it puts a burr in their saddle. So maybe that's what Josh Jacobs is doing.
It just used to be players tried to BBD it, boring by design, and you'd give answers and say, I don't know, we could probably use a playmaker on offense and a playmaker on defense. And then you hope that kind of ends the conversation. You didn't try to make a bunch of news. You go about promoting your product or whatever project you're doing, and you move on with your life. Well, guys now, Micah Parsons is ranking quarterbacks. Guys want shows. Guys want radio shows, podcasts.
Yeah.
They want to be on air.
They want to
be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And, by the way, kudos to them. I want them to be doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So
you had it.
But
you
as
had
a teammate,
hey, you did it yourself as a player. You and Murph.
I didn't go down. I would have never said what Josh Jacobs did yesterday.
You definitely would not.
But I would have said we could. And I'm just in looking back. I guarantee you. Where do you guys think you need to get drafted? Where do you?
You would have
when
said
you
we're
do
set
that, you're
right
doing
tackle.
in essence what Josh did yesterday. But I'm old enough, I guess, to understand what the young guys are looking at and how they're approaching this. And when you're your own brand and it's the off season, you're going to worry about your brand. And I think Josh Jacobs is looking at this not from his brand standpoint, but I think he just wants to be honest, and he doesn't want to boring by design it. And I think most players that have been successful in the media sphere haven't done that, and kudos to them.
All right.
They've used their platforms.
So the question I want to get to, because we got Chris Canty joining us from Unsportsmanlike at 9:30. He is down at the Super Bowl. Well, I don't know who they had from making the rounds on Radio Row. Maybe I'm assuming Josh Jacobs did not come back for a second helping this morning.
Heard Joe Montana a few minutes ago with them near the end of their show. Huh?
The question that matters is he right? Now, I think Jesse can go back. I know that our crack producing team pulled the audio of Matt LaFleur answering my questions about a number one wide receiver, in which I interrupted one of his answers because it was going nowhere, which he does to me with my questions, so I thought it was turnabout was fair play. And to Goody. And in my Goody question, I ran down the lineage at wide receiver. Right, Sterling Sharp, who may get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame today. Robert Brooks, Antonio Freeman, Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams. All of those guys ascended to the number one wide receiver spot. And there was a transition for all of them from the previous one, who was still on the team at the time that they ascended. That has not happened now in the last 3 years since Devontae was traded to the Raiders. So, and I also want to get into, because this is getting lost in the shuffle a little bit. I think he's right about defensive end and corner also. But wide receiver is the one that he was most.
He's listening to the punditry world.
Yeah, he's an analyst.
He's punding in it. He's punding it.
But
I
is
guess
he
you
right?
Could say he's analyzing.
Is he right about the wide receiver?
Jesse, and I know we did this. I don't remember when we did this poll, but Lord knows we discussed the, all of that other stuff, the wide receiver ad nauseum last off season, and I was intrigued because it's intriguing. And you know what shook out this year? A lot of intrigue kind of shook out from that. So when I'm looking at this now, we had a poll, and Jesse, I know it's a lot of work for a number one producer to find that poll and to see what those results were then and what they would be now, because in essence that's what Jason is asking, and I know we went about it in a roundabout way. J.R. Ewing compared to Ensemble Cast, that's how we approached it, and it has become abundantly clear that Josh Adams is a Dallas fan. He wants to go to South Fork. He wants J.R. Ewing. Do you? And I'd love to find that poll and revisit where those two things stack up. Can we do that or no?
You waiting for me to do it right now?
No, I'm just saying.
Well, no, he's asking if you're capable.
I'm not saying but we have a 4-minute commercial break coming that we could probably get.
Well, he's got to call Chris
I don't want to put more work on you. Just curious. I know I am.
Well, you are.
More work is being put on me by others, but that's different.
Well, let's ask Riley. See if he can do it.
Whoa, Hunter.
Youngster.
So he's right, though, because I want to talk about this with Canty, too. Obviously, he played in the league a really long time. Did he ever say something publicly that ruffled feathers or criticized teammates? Does he agree with you? Chris Canty. I'm going to ask him that.
Oh, that'd be good.
Thanks.
I'm fascinated to find out what Chris Canty and that defense's mindset was when they came in to beat that juggernaut offense in 11. That's what I'm curious about, because I believe that was his squad, right? The 11 team with the Giants?
Yes. He was part of that.
That's what I'm intrigued by.
Okay. Well, I want to get his insights on Josh Jacobs, and if he agrees with his with the assessment of the wide receiver position and whether or not, Chris Canty talks about the Packers quite a bit. He played in Dallas. He played with the Giants. I think he finished up in. Did he finish up in Baltimore?
For a while.
Dallas, New York, and Baltimore.
Okay. So obviously he played on some really good football teams. We'll get to him coming up. Chris Canty, who we certainly have higher on our power rankings than Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a PellaCare inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
Love is in the air at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This February, play to your heart's content in the Love It or Leave It $300,000 game show. Thursday night, you could love your prize or leave it for another. For a chance to cuddle up to thousands in cash and prizes, just play using your rewards card. Get ready to love it or leave it. Only at Potawatomi. Learn more at PaysBig.com. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Don't miss a day of non-stop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th at Fiserv Forum. Catch all the exciting plays as 10 high school boys basketball teams hit the court. Watch 5 games featuring State Power Kettle Moraine along with Nicolet, Milwaukee Juneau, Kohler, Sun Prairie East, and Racine Park. General admission tickets are just $15 and are valid for all 5 games. See the full schedule and get your tickets today at FiservForum.com. Be there for the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th.
It's the perfect Valentine's heart.
The kind a schoolboy would draw. It's the most adorable pendant we've ever created.
Innocent, fun-loving, and sweeter than honey.
Cute, cute, cute.
It's cherry red ceramic that's been through the fire.
We've been making ceramic jewelry for thousands of years.
Seriously?
Google it.
But this ceramic heart has things they didn't know about thousands of years ago.
Like what?
Diamonds. 18 of them.
These created diamonds were made for the one who sparkles like the sun.
I can see her in my mind right now.
It's the perfect Valentine's gift.
And it's only $128 at Kessler's.
Monica, what else do we have?
We have 4 different ways to say I love you.
Each pendant is a different shape covered in diamonds.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
An oval.
A square with rounded corners.
A teardrop.
And a heart.
Your choice, just $148 at Kessler's. For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra with ESPN Milwaukee and me this Friday at Magoo's on the Mound in Milwaukee. Alex Strofe here. I'll be at Magoo's on the Mound watching the Bucks take on the Atlanta Hawks Friday night starting at 6:30. Stop by to say hi and for a chance to win prizes. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Stenny's Lake Country in Pewaukee, Thirsty Duck Sussex, and Papa Stash in Big Bend. We'll see you Friday at Magoo's on the Mound for the Bucks game starting at 6:30 p.m. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So every week, we talk to Evan Cohen, our GKB teammate, and of course, our third favorite host of Unsportsmanlike. We were integral in getting Mishmel Schmalman to become a Packers fan. It was our sales pitch. But we've never gotten to have Chris Canty on our show. Until now. Joining us from New Orleans and Radio Row, where he was alongside Michelle Smallman and Evan Cohen, it is Chris Canty on Wilde and Tausch, presented to us by GNC, where you know I buy all my vitamins as well. Chris, good morning. Thanks for joining us, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to figure out whether I should be flattered or whether I should feel insulted, the fact that this is my first time coming on you guys' show.
I'll be honest. You're the biggest star of the three, and we didn't think we could get you. So thanks to GNC. But now going forward, you are more than welcome on this program on a regular basis. Trust me on that.
I see the spin there. I see what you did, Willie. I see how you handled that.
I'm a pretty smart guy. I covered you as a player, obviously, when you beat the Packers in the NFC Championship game in 11. My first question for you is this. You played a long time in this league. You had a lot of great teammates, right? You played with Justin Tuck. You played with O.C. Umenyiora. You have teammates now. You've got a great teammate in Michelle Smallman. You've also had bad teammates like Evan Cohen. Is Josh Jacobs a bad teammate for saying what he did about the Packers needing a number one wide receiver yesterday?
He's only a bad teammate if he didn't talk to the wide receivers that are already on the team, the guys that are in that room. If he didn't express to them that he expects more from those guys moving forward, then he's a bad teammate. But if he put it out there after talking to those guys behind closed doors, then I don't have a problem with any of the comments that he made yesterday. Laying down a challenge for teammates in a public way can be a motivator. It can be something that galvanizes folks, gets the best out of guys. And so it's yet to be determined what type of impact Josh's comments will have on this Packers receiving core and on the team as a whole. But he's only a bad guy if he didn't tell those guys that he expected more out of them moving forward first.
Is he right in his assessment? You obviously follow this league very closely. You know what it takes to be a good Super Bowl caliber team. Is he right in his assessment of the Packers wide receiving core?
I like the raw materials that they have to work with, but I would just say on the whole, it was a weird year for the Green Bay Packers, right? Started off the season with the Jordan Love injury, had trouble being able to get back on track, and it's been up and down for the quarterback. It's been up and down for a lot of those guys on the offensive side of the ball. What I would chalk it up to is the learning curve that comes along with learning how to win. And we saw last year them become the youngest team to win a playoff game over the last 50 years. And so I think dealing with success is something that you have to try to figure out in this league. Dealing with expectations is something you have to figure out. And when you have a quarterback that's newly minted, getting a contract for $55 million a year, everybody has these lofty expectations for the Green Bay Packers. And I think what you saw this year was a young group of guys not necessarily sure on how they should handle that. So I don't necessarily look at it as a talent issue on that Packers offense or on the team as a whole. They have all of the guys that they need to be successful. I just think it's them being able to figure out what it takes to have sustained success in this league, knowing that they're not sneaking up on anybody.
So, Chris, how do you, if you're Brian Gutekunst, do you just say we need another year to grow? But all we're hearing this offseason is urgency. And urgency to me means you go get a Devontae Adams if he's available. You know, I don't know about Myles Garrett. That's somebody obviously every team would want. How do you balance the fact that you say, all right, we now have – this is a win-now deal. We didn't make the steps that we wanted last year, but we have that young talent that is growing. How do you balance that if you're Goody?
Well, I think you have to figure out how you can get the most out of these guys. And sometimes sending the message in the way of a big player acquisition can be something that gets the job done. Other times they need that pat on the back or that hug, and that could be what the offseason looks like as well. So I'm not quite sure which path the Packers will choose, but I will say this, knowing that you have the quarterback, knowing that you have a lot of good young players on both sides of the ball, that just lets you know there's no reason to panic. The Green Bay Packers are going to continue to be successful. They're going to be a double-digit win team. That's what they've been, by and large, since Matt LaFleur has gotten there. It's just a matter of being able to get this team over the hump to have success once you get to the playoffs, and that is something that you want to see them be more consistent with in terms of their performance.
So, Chris, how would you assess Jordan Love? Because I thought last year, as he finished up the season and into the playoffs, he was ascending at a high level. I don't know where you wanted to rank him in your, Canty's power rankings, but he would have been a lot higher than where he finished this season. How do you assess his season as a whole?
It's frustrating when you watch it because when you look at the raw materials, the physical ability, the dominant traits, there ain't too many quarterbacks in the NFL that you would have above him. He's a special, special talent. But when you talk about talent, that just means you can't talk about winning, at least winning when it matters most. And so that's kind of what I'm waiting to see with Jordan Love. Is he going to be able to put together a full regular season? Is he going to be able to be the same guy from week to week, game to game? Both of his seasons as a starter, you can say he had stretches where he played like he was the best quarterback in the NFL. But that doesn't, if you're going to be in that conversation for the best in the game, you've got to put together a complete year. And Jordan Love just hasn't done that, right? He's done it for 6 games. He's done it for 8 games. You want to see him do it for 17 games as the team builds momentum to be at their best in the postseason. And so I think when I talk about consistency from this young team, I'm really looking at Jordan Love in terms of seeing more consistency in his approach and who he is as a player from week to week. And as he becomes more consistent, the team will become more consistent. One of the reasons why they pay quarterbacks what they pay them is so they can be a stabilizing force for the franchise. And I'm not sure that you can call Jordan Love that, even though he is their franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future.
Talking with Chris Canty from Unsportsmanlike. He is live in New Orleans at Radio Row. He is brought to us by GNC. And I believe he has now agreed to a weekly appearance on this show moving forward. So we're very excited about that. Before we move forward with our Packers discussion, I do know that GNC is part of the equation for you doing this. What are you promoting besides your Mardi Gras beads?
Well, I didn't get these the traditional way, boys, so you don't have to worry about that. I wasn't flashing anybody on Bourbon Street last night.
I thought Evan. I figured Evan gave you those.
Not that anybody would want to see that. No, but listen, I'm here. Presented by GNC. Health is wealth. I'm a big believer in taking care of yourself. Spending over a decade in the National Football League, it can be hard on your body, and you've got to be able to take care of it. You got to be able to supplement it. GNC helps me do that. They've been perfecting nutrition for 90 years. They're going to help you get those bigger gains. They're going to help you sculpt that revenge body and overall just have you feeling like you're ready to go. So everybody can benefit from going to GNC. You can go to your local GNC store or visit GNC.com. Remember, health is wealth. Got to take care of yourself. GNC helps me do that.
All right, so Chris, you were part of one of the all-time great front fours, right? You and OCU Manura and Justin Tuck and that guy that's on Good Morning America that got the sack from Brett Favre, gift-wrapped in that one game. I'm curious, when you looked at the Packers' defense, look, everybody wants to do what you guys did, right? Everybody wants that because it gives you the ability in the guys in the back end to not have to worry about blitzing and sending extra people after the quarterback. When you looked at the Packers defense this year, what did you see from their front? Because Josh Jacobs also said they need a defensive end, which isn't getting quite as much attention as his wide receiver commentary is.
Well, Josh Jacobs want to get everybody, don't he? But I think that just shows his desire, his passion for wanting to compete at a championship level in Green Bay. And I can't blame that guy coming off of the start of his career with the Las Vegas Raiders and so many hopeless seasons. So I understand exactly where he's coming from. And when I look at this Green Bay Packers defense, there's a lot to like. There's talent all over the place, right? You look at the defensive tackles. They got a couple of first-round guys up there. They've got a first-round defensive end in Lucas Van Ness. They've got Quay Walker. They've got a lot of guys. They've got impact players on every level. The secondary with Xavier McKinney, who was absolutely awesome. Keyshawn Nixon played really well. I mean, so you've got a ton of talent on that side of the ball. It's just a matter of being able to put it together, and I thought Jeff Hafley did a great job in that regard. They're only going to get better as they have an opportunity to become more familiar with the defensive scheme and the play caller. So I think that defense is going to be on the come. I think they've just got to be patient and stay the course. I don't think you need to overhaul it in any sense. Could you supplement it with an additional pass rusher? Sure. You can never have enough pass rushers. If you learned anything from those New York Giants teams in the 2000s, you can never have enough pass rushers. That defensive line that you talked about, you didn't even mention Jason Pierre-Paul. You didn't mention Rocky Bernard. You didn't mention Linval Joseph. You didn't mention Matthias Kiwanuka. You didn't mention Jimmy Kennedy. I mean, we were 9 deep. You know, guys were fighting for playing time on that defensive line. And that's what you want. You want to be able to develop that rotation of guys that you can consistently rely on. And I think they're well on their way to doing that in Green Bay. They just need a little more time, a little more seasoning. They'll get to where they want to go.
So what would you say, and I don't know what the price tag is going to be, but if you're looking from Goody's standpoint The Myles Garrett, I just think that's going to be too heavy of a price. The fact that they're not going to Luka Doncic and keep it just a small conversation. He's open to everybody. But Hendrickson, do you want, if you have a young team like this, and the biggest struggle was getting home with 4 against good teams, the Eagles, the Vikings, that Lions. You couldn't get home against good O-lines. That needs to be addressed. Do you go young again, or do you think at this point, do you say, let's make a splash, give up some draft picks, which we usually don't do, and bring a veteran in to kind of set the table for leading a group like you guys had with the Giants back in the 2000s?
Listen, I would take the big swing. If Myles Garrett wants to be a part of my team, then I'm going to try to make that happen. And it's not just a matter of what the compensation is. It's also a matter of appeasing Myles Garrett, right? Because if the Cleveland Browns get to a place where they're willing to trade him, Myles Garrett is going to have something to say about where he ends up going, because no team is going to fork over that level of compensation without getting the player to agree to a contract extension. So there is going to be some give and take with that. I just don't look at it in the sense that there's a price that's too heavy to pay for a guy like Myles Garrett. And it's not just the production that he's bringing to the table, but it's the intangibles, a guy that can help you set the culture for what your young team can be. He goes about his business the right way. He's been a model citizen ever since he got drafted in 2017. He's lived up to being the number 1 overall pick. Maybe the worst moment he had was in a primetime game against the Steelers, hitting Mason Rudolph in the head. But, I mean, hell, Steelers fans will tell you the way Mason Rudolph played, he might have deserved it. But anyway, all I'm saying is this. When it comes to sending the right message to my locker room about the guys that I'm going to reward and the guys I'm going to pay, trading for and paying Myles Garrett is the right message, because this is a guy that consistently produced. First guy in NFL history to have 4 consecutive years of 14 sacks or more, right? He's one of 4 guys to have 7 straight seasons with double-digit sacks. He's 6-time All-Pro in 8 seasons in the NFL. If you were ever going to overpay for a guy that was available for trade or in free agency, Myles Garrett would be the guy. And especially considering where you're at with this Green Bay Packers team, with a lot of these young guys that are on controllable contracts, that is absolutely the way that I would go. If the Green Bay Packers got word that Myles Garrett wanted to come to that franchise, they need to be willing to move heaven and earth, because that is a team that's a Myles Garrett away from being into Super Bowl.
Ooh, let's go. Last one for me, Chris. Can you take us back into that 11 season when you guys came into Lambeau and the Packers offense was a complete juggernaut? What was the mindset coming in, and why did you feel like you could pull that off? Because that team offensively, nobody stopped them. What was the plan, and how did you guys do it?
Oh, it's pass rush. It's pass rush, and, we had an opportunity to play them before. We just felt like that was a good matchup for us in terms of being able to get after them in the pass rush and being able to neutralize their ability to run the football. And that's really what you want to do as a defensive line. You want to earn the right to rush the passer, and that starts by being able to stop the run on 1st and 2nd down, because it's hard to rush the quarterback on 2nd and 4. It's hard to rush the quarterback on 3rd and 2. And so that was our mentality, be able to win those early downs and distances so we have an opportunity to get after Aaron Rodgers. We know how talented he was as a player, and we knew that as a defensive line, it was on us if we were going to limit the productivity of that Packers offense in that passing game. So, yeah, I think it starts for us up front, as it does always with a lot of teams. But in that particular matchup, there was even more urgency about being able to get to Aaron Rodgers. And in order to have that impact, we had to stop the run.
All right, Chris, we know you got to go. We want to be respectful of your time. So Evan does every Tuesday at 10:30. So let us know what time window works best for you moving forward. And then, did you ever go up against Tausch as a player? I think you guys might have had two in Dallas when you were in Dallas.
In Dallas, we did, yes.
No, I was matched up against Chad Clifton. I was going up against Clifton on the other side.
Oh, okay. So the weaker of the ends.
I was smart. I stayed away from Tauscher. I was the smart guy. Stay away from Tausch.
There you go.
Go over to Tad Clifton. Much easier win.
Yeah, there we go. Let's clip that. I'll send that to Chad.
Make sure you do.
Tell him I said what. Tell him I'm just joking.
I will.
Chris, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good, guys. Sounds good. And I'll see you guys in Green Bay for the draft.
All right, that is a date. All right, that is Chris Canty. He joins us courtesy of GNC Live Well. That was really fun. He is a smart, interesting guy. He is, Tausch, you've obviously made the segue from playing into punditry or analysis.
Well, he does. Here's what I would say, Jason. He does the work. And, talking with Evan, the hardest working athlete outside of me that Evan has ever dealt with, because a lot of times you'll talk national stuff and it's all generic. Oh, so-and-so and X. Canty, and I think part of it is because the Packers are on the landscape, and maybe with Evan and the fact that Michelle is a Packers fan, he's pretty dialed into what's going on. This isn't, your standard operation. So some pretty interesting things. And the big one for me, Myles Garrett move heaven and earth to get him.
Yeah.
That might be a little strong on my end, but he's a special talent. There's no doubt about that.
Would you move earth?
Purgatory. I would move purgatory. We will get deeper into some of the things that Chris said next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Ben Brust here because you need to win the ultimate Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. To register, go to welkesdatenight.com for your chance to win a bouquet of flowers courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. On top of that, spend a beautiful night in the city watching Milwaukee basketball take on Miami on February 23rd. Register to win a wonderful Valentine's Day prize courtesy of Welke's Milwaukee Florist. That's welkesdatenight.com. Register now through February 12th.
As a bull rider, I prefer to do things single-handedly. That's why I love the UW Credit Union app. Doggy! It lets me check accounts, make transfers and more on the go. And if I need an extra hand, UW Credit Union has 13 Milwaukee area branches. Yippee! So, if you want simple mobile banking, mosey on over to UW Credit Union. They're here for every y'all. Federally insured by NCUA.
We all experience daily struggles, and with so many concerns to be conscious of, breathing should not be one of them. Mark Tauscher here for Advent, and if you're like me and have had snoring issues, sinus problems, or difficulty breathing, then you'll want to meet the team at Advent. The team of Advent specialists have a few simple steps to help evaluate your individual limitations and get you back to breathing well. Since Advent addressed my snoring and nasal breathing issues, I feel great. I've never slept better, and my wife Sarah is incredibly appreciative. The team of Advent specialists listened to my struggles, found the best solution for me, and customized it to my needs. Take my word for it and go to adventknows.com to learn more about simple solutions to snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems. And schedule your appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Casey and Philly are ready to kick off. The question is, are you ready? HD TVs in every room. Check. The grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to stock up for the biggest football game of the year. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. Online at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. Baby, I just don't wanna wait. Tonight's the weekend.
Thanks again to Chris Canty for spending some time with us. I'd be happy if he would join us, maybe not every week, but on occasion, because he's really good at what he does, and he made our show better today, so we appreciate him doing that.
We could win. Oh, there he is again. When
he's still there? I've got more questions.
When Evan joins us, we could just have Evan join us next to Canty and Michelle, and they could just pass the phone around to whoever we want to talk to the most.
It's not a bad idea. I've heard worse ideas. Or we could
I don't
just
love it.
Or they could just rotate every week. 1 week we get Evan, 1 week we get Chris, 1 week we get Michelle, and then back to Evan. Although then he and Tausch wouldn't have their quality time together. One of you heard what he said about acquiring Myles Garrett, and you emphasized that. I also thought it was interesting that his response to the Josh Jacobs question about the wide receivers was that he's not a bad teammate if he had expressed to them in advance, and not meaning yesterday, but previously during the season or as the season ended, about how they need more from those guys. Do you think he did?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I think it's possible that as a leader, you talk to.
Do you think those guys would have reacted the way they did if they had heard that before? Listen, man, I'm not Inspector Clouseau. I'm not Colonel Mustard. I'm not Matlock.
Wait
but
a minute.
I
don't think Colonel Mustard was a suspect.
Those are your power rankings of detectives?
No, Hunter would be one. Not Hunter Vaughn. Different.
Fred
Hunter.
Dreyer. Yes.
I think Matlock has got to be right up there because Matlock did that, and he was a trial attorney, never lost.
And now
Matlock never lost a case, which is still an amazing deal.
Lenny Briscoe, we got to get Lenny Briscoe in there.
He lost.
Matlock's Kathy
and then
Bates
he let
now. Have you seen that?
He let his personality get in the way of some things. He detectives. Clouseau was good.
Monk,
but the bottom
Columbo?
line is Monk. Who?
Columbo?
I don't know much about.
How about
Columbo.
Inspector Gadget?
It's like the steroids of
too
detective.
fidgety.
Yeah.
Too gadgety. Nice. Anyway, your point. If they had heard this before, they wouldn't have reacted the way they did. Is your point?
That's typically a pretty good point of reference, I would think, but maybe not. I could be wrong.
Don't you think that they know they got to be better, though? That part they've got to know on their own, right? Like, is Jaden Reed looking at his second
Jason,
season?
you need to do this. Tausch, you should lose weight. Everybody has these deals, and it's another thing if they're like, hey, you're a fat slob, and they call there's ways to handle things, right? It's not just boom, boom, boom. It's boom, boom. So yes, of course, I don't think anybody was looking at how the season went and said, man, our receiving corps is set. We are locked and loaded. Not how it works, right? Mm-hmm. You have to look at this thing, and that's where leadership and having the understanding of who needs a pat on the butt, who needs a kick into keister. Mm-hmm. That's a hard thing. And I think Josh Jacobs, I'm not faulting Josh Jacobs because he wants to win. He wants to win. I don't know if yesterday is going to push that ball forward. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is, because hard truths sometimes are what needs to happen in order for change to be made. But my guess is he's had these conversations with Goody and LaFleur, because they'll ask, and he'll give his input, and that's all great. But it's another thing to hit Kay Adams and Mike Florio with it, and it goes, woo! And then you force guys to react to it. That's where players typically in the past, you're like, don't be a distraction to other teammates. Now, all offseason, you can feel very confident that when these guys have conversations or when they're out with their buddies, guys are going to talk. And it is now it'll be on their doorstep, whereas in the past it would have just been here and you would have just had that discussion. Now, that's all that the Jaden Reeds and these guys are going to be thinking and talking about is who's that number one. And when Devontae does eventually come to Green Bay, which is what I hope happens, it'll be a moot point because what Josh Jacobs said was going to be validated. And these boys, hey, get better or you ain't going to be here. That's how that's going to go.
Tausch, I'm assuming that when they get back for the off-season program, they're going to have a beer summit with Josh Jacobs and the wide receivers coming over to Josh's house, and I'm sure that it'll be Coors Light that they've got in their fridge.
It will be, and I don't want to do this, but it feels like since the Milwaukee Bucks won a championship, I'm not going to say what they switched to, but I remember Molson Coors and Coors Light being a big part of the Bucks championship. They switched, and it's gone. Well, that's all I'm saying. I saw it on Twitter. I'm not going to put it out there because there's a different brand that's in there. Ain't going to be a different brand with Old T. It is always Coors Light, brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978, Coors Light's refreshing, crisp, 102 calories. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company. Golden, Colorado. I got more tweets about that, about where the Milwaukee Bucks, with all the stuff they're doing and how they're struggling and what is the root cause of it. I'm not saying, but I'm not saying. If that makes any sense.
Not really. The 10 o'clock hour.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes,
I'm 100% on board.
Yes,
okay. I just wanted to make sure it made sense.
Very interesting coincidence. Very interesting.
But I'm not saying, which is a rare thing. Well, you can actually say something by not saying it, by saying it because you're not saying it.
Are you done?
Columbo. I think so, yeah. I think I've hit my point.
Which detective do you want on that case?
Now, Clouseau was the Pink Panther, right?
Yeah.
Who would be renowned as the GOAT?
Oh, there's a clear answer.
Of investigators.
Matt and Superior on the text. There's a clear number one detective. Sherlock Holmes.
I don't know.
What up, Holmes?
He's got to be the number one.
Why? Sell me on him.
I'm afraid we've run out of time. The 10 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. Inspector Clouseau. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucks fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucks.com/tickets. That's Bucks.com/tickets.
When that nonstop pain starts swelling up in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, that's when you know it's time to go to QC Kinetics. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman. My experience with QC Kinetics has been unbelievable. When I went there myself, I was amazed at the state-of-the-art treatments and how they met me exactly where I was in diagnosing me and putting on a personal path toward recovery. When I hear all the testimonials of people going to QC Kinetics that finally get rid of their pain, it's unbelievable to hear that they are experiencing a new life after their treatments with QC Kinetics. Their ability to use cutting-edge regenerative treatments, including PRP, plasma, platelets, things that you only hear about theoretically, but when you can see with your own two eyes, you see why they are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. If you're finally ready to get rid of that joint pain and start living the life that you want to in 2025, call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Presented by Matlock, starring Kathy Bates on CBS. It's like the new Matlock and the new Murder, She Wrote all wrapped up into one. Tausch, all this talk about a number one wide receiver from Josh Jacobs, I think might have been influenced just a little bit by the fact that he has a specific number one wide receiver in mind. Here is Josh Jacobs appearing on Up and Adams on FanDuel TV with Kay Adams, no relation to Devontae Adams, who joins her show very regularly. Here's Josh Jacobs and what he said about Devontae.
Would you welcome a return of Devontae Adams to Green Bay?
Most definitely. I think he's an amazing receiver, amazing person. Obviously, I would want to see what it would cost us. But I do think that we have a spot for him. For sure.
You have a spot. What would he bring to that offense, to the team, knowing the kind of man he is?
He's a great leader. He practices hard. He does things that I'll tell people. I remember one year I may have only seen him drop 2 passes at practice the whole year. Like, he's one of them guys that he's going to put the work in. He's going to lead the younger guys the right way. He's going to give you nuggets that you can't really coach. And the way that he sees the game is just different.
As courtesy laughs go, the laugh that Kay Adams delivers there was perhaps the strongest courtesy laugh ever.
You didn't think she found that funny? You didn't think she thought that was funny?
I didn't think his line was that funny.
Yeah, but you're not Kay.
I know, but my opinion is,
has anyone? Do we have
confirmation?
Do we have confirmation why Kay is such a Packers fan?
We do not,
because she's done a remarkable job. She brought us Xavier. She brought us Josh. She's bringing us. Yes, she was pushing those narratives before it happened. Kay had. There's no laughing about that. She wants a statue in front of the Oval, or we should all be ready to do that. She is a catalyst, if you will.
That's a great
to bringing these guys to the G&G. And if you don't think she's pushing the Devontae narrative, You're not paying attention.
Well, she's definitely pushing that narrative. I can't speak to the other ones. I don't recall
Probably
that.
because old boy's pushing the Devontae narrative. Wearing the shoes.
Devontae.
Talking the talk.
Yeah.
That's old boy, yes.
Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of all your old boys.
It's not. It's usually pretty easy. It's usually pretty easy.
Could have been Bartski for all we know. Hey, what is the road trip together, by the way?
Yeah, it's tomorrow. We're leaving tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So I was going to save this for tomorrow.
Save it then, because I want to.
Well, I'll tell you on Monday.
Whoa, Nelly!
I am gonna sit back seat.
Oh no!
And his son's gonna sit front seat because I just downloaded all of the Karate Kid and I am excited to watch it.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, you know that was too much. You mean Cobra Kai?
Yeah, karate. Oh, I call it Karate Kid. You call it whatever you want.
Well, if you're going to watch the 1984 classic starring Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita, that would be different than watching Cobra Kai.
Unfortunately, that new hotel movie is coming out that I like, but it's not for another week or two. So,
Hotel Transylvania?
Is it going to be IPT for me to sit back seat?
Yeah.
I still am diagonal.
Yeah.
Hold up, though.
No.
Hold up.
No.
Hold up.
No,
You're not even letting me finish, man.
I will not hear you out. No, it's IPT.
You, after getting after him for the job that he did as your co-pilot, as navigator a couple of weeks ago, you're going to go backseat, throw the earbuds in, and watch 8 episodes of a show and totally ignore him.
Abdicate
but I will navigate. Hold up a second.
On one of the most boring drives there is down to St. Louis.
When we are to our final location and we're going bantying back and forth, I will run the navigation from point A to point B. When you're going to you're on the highway for 250 miles. There's no navigating. Here you go. And if I'm up front, I'm probably going to say, well, we got to make a stop. I'm going to say, no. If I'm in the back, I got no say. You give up all power when you're in the back. Correct?
This is
Pause
so
while
weak.
you suck down your bubbler.
This
what?
is so weak.
What?
This is awful by you.
By the way,
how?
The drive
you know how.
The drive on I-39 and 55.
Yes, you do. You know or you wouldn't have asked.
It is 250 miles straight nothing farm fields. I made the drive to Peoria a lot, and then it's an extra 3 hours to St. Louis. And when you get to St. Louis, there's like no navigation needed. Maybe one exit and then a turn around a corner and you're at the hotel. Downtown St. Louis is nothing compared to downtown Dallas or wherever you were last time. This is pathetic because you need to be there.
First off, when have you been to Dallas? You don't know anything about Dallas. Dallas is U-turns and Y-turns, and there's different tolls. Like Dallas is complicated
That's my point. St. Louis
and you
is
got
nothing.
After
yeah, but you ain't even been there. St. Louis is a whole different animal. You don't know anything about St. Louis. You don't know where the rink is.
Last year
come on.
a questionable Airbnb experience. There was nothing to being in downtown St. Louis.
Where you were sought after and felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, not in the car. I didn't. I mean, that's because I had a good co-pilot who was able to talk to me.
I don't listen, man. I am going to do what Bartsky wants, but it's his kid. Like, my favorite thing about doing these road trips is sitting there having time with my kid, and we have these discussions, and you just talk about life and things like that. I'm not going to rob Bartsky from the chance to sit and talk to his kid for 5 hours.
Get out
I'm not
here.
going to do that. I am not robbing him of doing that.
You're really robbing Max of having a chance to bond with his teammate in the back seat because you're saying, I need the back seat to watch Cobra Kai.
Maybe. I don't know. But I have been chomping to watch it. It's all downloaded. Got the AirPods all charged up, ready to go, baby. Let's go.
One more follow-up, and then I'd like to get back to Josh Jacobs and Devontae Adams if I could. If you're going to sit in the back, I don't know what Bartsky's vehicle is, but is his son...
Well, I only ride in Chevys. I try to only ride in Chevys, so...
Well, Chevy has a myriad of vehicles.
It's a big boy.
Some larger than others. Is Bartsky Jr. going to have to scooch his seat up closer
Oh, yes, of
to
course.
make room for you to be able to land?
He's 14 years old,
legs of yours.
Yes, of course he has to. No doubt.
You are. This is.
But in fairness, if he didn't, I'd have the seat scooched all the way back, and he'd be uncomfortable. This way, he's going to be a lot more comfortable. So I'm doing him a favor.
Jana in Pittsburgh informs us that White Lotus is the hotel movie.
White Lotus. That's it. Thank you, Jana.
It's a TV series.
It's a 10-episode series.
She knows exactly
On
what I was
HBO.
thinking. Appreciate you, Jana.
It is a good series. I've enjoyed it.
All right. Well, that's our breakdown of Devontae Adams to the Packers, and Ed Helms sucked on the Office. Tell us, Tausch, what prize?
In fairness, I didn't bring this up. You did. I didn't bring it up.
I'll check the tape.
I didn't. Check the tape. Jason brought up Bartsky. I didn't bring anything up.
Yes, I brought up Bartsky. Then you said,
no, you said, what did you guys end up deciding? Blah, blah, blah.
No.
Well, I always decide if I'm going to do a little daily fantasy sport, it's Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. 10 million members, billions of dollars, and simple to play, more or less, on at least 2 players. I did my big game. I already did my big game because I wasn't sure in Missouri, so I don't even know what state that's on. But I didn't know, so I made my little deal last night. I went with Mahomes. 0.5. I went more. 0.5 yards. I feel good about that. It's not a freebie.
Yeah.
Just for the record, not a freebie. And then the other one I went with, Jelly, Saquon Tutter. I just feel like Saquon, 0.5 tutters.
That's a good safe one.
I feel good he's going to have a tutter. And I'm still debating if I'm going to throw a little 3-piece, but I did that one, and I'm going to dabble a little bit more with some others. That's what makes Prize Picks so fun. It's simple to play. Pick more or less. That's it. And the big game, like I just said, it's almost here. Don't miss out on that last game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash. While watching the big game, Prize Picks is giving away a free pick for the big game. One of those quarterbacks, I told you, Mahomes, 0.5 yards. Boom. Let's go. Get in there. You only need one other stat projection. You can win real cash. We also have promos tab. You can tail any of the Super Sweat Millie winners. Big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play that first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 instantly when you play for the big game. Prize Picks.
Run
your
big
game. I'm going to miss saying big game. I think tomorrow probably going to be the last Prize Picks read.
Well,
have not butchered it yet. Nothing. Most people would say there's nothing super about those reads, but I'm going to say this. Just big games, fun, and Prize Picks is the place to go.
You know, there are, and the big game is not exclusive. That's why we're able to say big game. So, like, Wisconsin and Purdue next weekend after that could be the next big game, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but this is the only time that you just use big game because you can't say Super Bowl is during this time of year. That's why.
Yeah, but there's something with March. You have to say Big Madness, I think, instead of March. Right?
I don't think you even get to do Madness. I think you say the tournament or something to that effect.
Well, that's mad. That is mad that you can't do that.
Yeah, but it's only happens
Where's the
in
Kay
March.
Adams laugh? I was trying to get a Kay Adams courtesy laugh in there. That's Mark Murphy, not Kay.
You didn't deserve
What
Kay
is?
there.
Which one's worse, Mark's or Kay's?
I think Kay's is actually. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
The 11th annual Big Cheese Classic is coming. On February 8th and 9th, this wheelchair basketball tournament brings top talent from across the nation to Wisconsin. Powered by the Wisconsin Adaptive Sports Association, this exciting event at Pewaukee High School promises to be a thrilling showcase of athleticism, competition, and inspiration. For more information, please call 262-613-7040 or email Melissa at wausau.org.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Steinhoffels. Stop in for the Marquette Spirit Sales event going on Thursday, February 6th through Sunday, February 9th.
For the first time this season, the 11th-ranked Golden Eagles have dropped back-to-back games following a 70-64 loss to number 12 St. John's at Madison Square Garden. Senior guard Cam Jones was in foul trouble most of the night, but still finished with 15 points, 13 of those coming in the second half.
And now Jones in the corner, three. Oh! Cam Jones!
Guess who's back?
Marquette falls into third place in the Big East at 9-3 and 18-5 overall. They wrap up their two-game road trip Saturday in Omaha against Creighton.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Steinhoffels. Make sure to stop by any Milwaukee area Steinhoffels from February 6th through 9th and receive a $100 Marquette Spirit Shop gift card when you spend over $1,999. Find ESPN Milwaukee broadcasting live on Saturday from the Steinhoffels in Waukesha.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Casey and Philly are ready to kick off. The question is, are you ready? HD TVs in every room. Check. The grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, check, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to stock up for the biggest football game of the year. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. Online at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We'll talk to Uncle Homer, who is scheduled to appear next after he stepped aside for us yesterday amid the big Bucks news.
Good teammate. Good team player, Homer is.
I can tell you from appearing on his program, the Homer Hour, last night, he has a very strong opinion on Josh Jacobs speaking out in the manner that he did. I'll let him share that. I know you love a good following the breadcrumbs, and so I want Jesse to play.
That's been well documented.
I want Jesse to play.
Jesse, would you say the Hansel and Gretel leave behind is one of the most disrespectful things you've ever seen?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's move on.
No, total disregard for not even a fake appreciation of the gift.
Disgusted.
Yeah.
He was disgusted with me that I tried to give him a thoughtful gift. The disrespect and the angst, it is. And I don't get this way often. I don't get beaten into the dirt often. That was a dirt beater.
All he had to do was
dirt beat me.
He had to fake it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, he could have left it there and said, "Oh, this is good."
Yep.
So being disingenuous and phony is what you want. That's not IPT.
No, I want you to appreciate thoughtfulness. Like I am not.
And I want. I'm all for the disingenuous fake it. If it makes everyone feel better,
it brings me down. I don't want to be brought down today. I'm in a good mood. That hurts my feelings a bunch. I just want to move along. Let's just move along. Where's the breadcrumbs leading, Jason? Back to the Tundra Trio with a just pile of tears sitting by that poster. That's what it would be tears. Is there a flood? Is there a water leak? No, it's just Tausch was tearing up over there.
It'll still be there for the draft.
Tears.
It will be. I'll make sure.
Probably not.
Sure.
Probably
we don't even have a fireplace
They're
there.
gonna have a bonfire.
That's the sad part.
I'll make sure that it's framed and hanging at the Tundra Trio. The breadcrumbs. So take what Josh Jacobs said about the wide receiving group and the need for a number one, and now take what Jesse is going to play that he said about Jordan Love and whether Jordan Love is the real deal.
You know, the thing that stood out the most is the way the ball come out his arm. Like, he be spinning the ball. And I think that was the biggest thing, like watching film on him, before coming. But then actually getting into practice with him, I'm like, oh, yeah, this dude got it. He definitely got it. I think it's about just putting it together on a consistent basis for him. But when he figure it out, man, he's gonna be special.
Okay, so if he's got it and the wide receivers, the implication is they don't got it. Is this him saying that the failings of the offensive passing game portion of the program are not because of the quarterback, but because of the wide receivers? Or am I following those breadcrumbs in the wrong direction?
No, I think you're reading the breadcrumbs right. And in fairness, he's got a point. The wide receiving core led the league in drops. And that's without even knowing, how many times the depth of route wasn't correct. There's a lot of other questions that I'm sure Josh has privy to that information that we do not have. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm not mad at Josh. Like, I'm just not as, I guess, upset as everybody else. It is what it is, and the fact is that group's got to be better. But Jordan Love has to be better, too, and part of it is him holding guys to account, and I'm sure that is that next step in his process. I don't want Jordan Love. I'm sure he'll be at Radio Row today or tomorrow.
You think so?
Because Lord knows he's going to be – yeah, because he'll be able to – I mean, stars make a lot of money going down there. And they should go down there and do it, and they should try and say as little. This is just me as a former player advising. As a media guy, let it rip, man. I want to hear, put that GM hat on, Josh Jacobs. Thank you. Romeo Dobbs, I'd love for you to put your GM hat on, and I certainly want Jordan Love to. But it was a collective effort, and I would have loved for Kay or for someone else to talk and break down ball and ask him why the play-action pass game wasn't as successful. Mm-hmm. And can he run that outside zone? Why does he like running with more duo and gun stuff than we've seen in the past? Those are some that I'm sure when you get a hold of him, Jason, I'd love for him to delve into too, because that is another component to why this offense wasn't as good. But if you're asking me number one reason, I would say the receiving corps didn't take that next step. That is why this group offensively wasn't as good.
We will ask Homer how strongly he feels about Josh Jacobs' commentary coming up next. Want to remind you that I feel strongly when it comes to recommending who to call if you've been seriously injured in an accident. And again, I hope you never do. I hope you never have to call Gruber Law Offices, because that means you haven't been injured in an accident and you don't need representation. But if you have been injured, there is only one call to make. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Steve the Homer True joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
It's party time at Cousins Subs. For a limited time only, Cousins is bringing back their famous 2-foot party subs. Whether it's for a big game, family gathering, or work celebration, Cousins 2-foot party sub is sure to be a crowd pleaser. Choose from the club, ham and provolone, Italian special, or turkey. Each party sub is just $39.99, feeds 5 to 8 people, and requires 24-hour notice to order. Order today through February 9th in store, online, or on their app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pal Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary Design Works consultation and a Pellet Care inspection. Visit PelletWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. How do your books look? Are they ready for your tax return to be prepared? Did you and your accountant talk during the year and develop a plan to minimize your tax bill? Or does this sound like you? You can never get a hold of your CPA. Phone calls are not returned and questions are never answered. Your books are a mess and the bank account hasn't been reconciled since last year. You don't get any advice to help you run your business. That's not the case with the Neal Group. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow. We like to work with you throughout the year to keep your books up to date so you run your business profitably. Are you ready to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait. Do it now. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Score big savings during Menard's Super Sale. Get ready for game day with a 2-pound tub of braided pretzel twists. On sale for just $5.49. Assorted flavors of Sprecher craft soda in 16-ounce bottles are only $3.99 a 4-pack. Plus, save big on party tableware, chairs, grills, coolers, small appliances, and much more for game day get-togethers. Check the weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals going on now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra with ESPN Milwaukee and me this Friday at Magoo's on the Mound in Milwaukee. Alex Strofe here. I'll be at Magoo's on the Mound watching the Bucks take on the Atlanta Hawks Friday night starting at 6:30. Stop by to say hi and for a chance to win prizes. Also enjoy Michelob Ultra at Stenny's Lake Country in Pewaukee, Thirsty Duck Sussex, and Papa Stash in Big Bend. We'll see you Friday at Magoo's on the Mound for the Bucks game starting at 6:30 p.m. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure
you know what that music means? Duke Tomato and the All-Star Frogs means it's time to talk to the voice of Marquette men's basketball, the host of the Homer Hour, 5 to 6 each weekday on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, and of course the co-host on YouTube of God Talk, My Faith with Homer and Pip. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Happy to fill in. I guess I'm filling in.
No, happy to move your scheduled appearance by a day.
What does that mean? The Lord knows you're not going to take the driver's chair when you fill in. I've learned that lesson.
Correct. I'm not a driver. When you got a driver,
you're not a driver. You go to McDonald's every day in your car.
Correct.
No,
that would be different than being
driving
on a radio
your show for years.
That's fine. Whatever. Let's move on. Yeah. Okay.
Oh man,
it's good for you to hold that.
You don't feel like scrabbling today a little bit, or what?
No, I already.
You're the guest.
Over this. Hold on, we already went over this, and we
you don't want to.
The portion of the show in which I said I would do it for you. After that was played twice, you still decided that you were going to do it. After I said I would do it for you, and then you still complained and blamed me for not being it. So if you want to continue to go there, please let's.
I don't know. I don't want to.
On tape again?
I don't want to.
Sounds.
I just said I don't want to.
I do now. You've convinced me to want to do it.
Too late.
Again.
Jimmy Butler. Hey, Jimmy Butler. What do you think? Give me the Jimmy Butler update. Marquette guy. What is going on?
In terms of what do you mean? Like, is he crazy?
I mean, just a hot mess, and he got traded.
He won. He got an extra year to the extension of $50 million. He pulled it off.
Winners
now,
win.
Many years
win.
Many years ago, I went because people said he had changed and that he was a jerk, and I didn't believe that because he wasn't at Marquette. So I went and saw. I probably should just not mention the player, but he was in the NBA and he knew him, and I said to him, I'm not even here to talk about you. He goes, what are you here for that? I go, I want to ask about Jimmy. He said, well, what? I said, like, people tell me he's a jerk. He said, yeah. I said, well, why? And he goes, money. Money does that to some players. Got all the money, and now he's a pain in the butt. So,
ooh, that's juicy.
That was many years ago, but
juicy.
Phenomenal in the playoffs. And
who was it?
I think the culture is so good. The culture is so good with the Warriors that I think they're willing to give and take.
The culture is so good that a guy will punch a guy in the face and break his cheek and have to get suspended. That culture is great out there, Homer.
That culture is great. Yeah,
great culture.
Hold on. Let me finish. Even given that,
you know what I love in a culture? When guys come and punch me in the face, they sucker punch me in the face at practice. That's great culture.
Yes, that's a bad day. That's very similar to you defending Josh Jacobs for something that you have never seen a player do in 10 years. I haven't seen done in 40 years. I don't understand it. You defend it, and you, I got to admit, did a great job.
I didn't defend it.
Yes, you did. You said you are.
I said I understand it. I don't like it, but it's a different era. That's what I
said. But you said, wait a minute, young players are different now. Didn't you say that?
They are.
Oh, yes. And you know what? They are different, but none of the young players have done it either. In fact, you defend how wrong what he did is because what has changed about the young players is that they're more fragile. If young players are more fragile, it's even more important that you don't ridicule them in public than ever before. No one did it when the players were strong. Now they're fragile. So, yes, you're correct. Young players have made it a difference. And in fact, it's even stupider and more wrong to do it, given the nature of the young players, than it was before when no one did it. I would emphasize, as a number of the Institute said, and looked it up, that yes, it was Peyton Manning who did rip his kicker and called him an idiot kicker. But even he didn't say,
and drunk.
We need a new
too.
kicker. Yes, that too. But he didn't say we need a new kicker, as Josh Jacobs basically said. Yes, because no one, you included, violated that rule because it's wrong. You know it's wrong. Chris Canty knows it's wrong. Jason Wilde knows it's wrong. But you apparently want to defend players just a little bit and give them the benefit of the doubt, which is fine. But that's the reality because there is no.
So
defense.
Homer, let me jump in.
Let me jump in. Wrong. You know it. Players know it better than anyone, and you have lived it.
Do you
now
mind?
I'm done. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Can I
no,
jump
not
in?
finished.
So I said as a player, I don't like it. As a media member, I love it. And media starts with me. Jason taught me that a long time ago. We've been doing this show 9 years. I learned. I learned.
Right.
I would not have liked it as a player.
Hold on.
But,
what did you say about young players?
Can I just finish?
Tell people what you said about young players.
Boy, that's got to be frustrating when people interrupt you.
It is.
You pick the part to replay, not the part that defends my position. But we can play it back.
Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I actually think that even though there's yelling and interrupting going on, we all agree that at its core, Josh Jacobs should not have said this publicly, which Homer
we all
and
agree
I
on that. Yes.
Homer and I
at
argued.
Its core. What does that mean?
It means that the bottom line is was it right or was it wrong? And it was wrong from a teammate perspective.
Which
we
is
all
the
agree
most
on that.
Perspective.
What I was trying to
right?
That's tough, isn't it, Jason? Homer, so to my point before you interrupted me.
I wanted to make sure I was hearing right.
As a leader, and Josh Jacobs, the best player on offense last season, no doubt. No, don't argue with me. That those are facts. And as a leader of that group, he decided he needed tough love and to let people know that what they had last year wasn't good enough. And you want, as a teammate, to be held accountable. Now, you probably don't want it to be I would not, and most players I know would not have wanted it to be done the way Josh did it. I don't know if he had that conversation beforehand. But the crux of it.
You said to Jason you knew he did.
Yeah, I know.
Now you're going to throw that out?
I agree.
He did not.
So, Homer, to the crux of it is that Josh Jacobs wants to win, and he believes they need to be better, and they need a guy to set the table in that room that is not there. That is a hard truth that he has for those young players.
Can I ask
Should he have done it in a different way? Yes, but he didn't, and now here we go.
As a leader, it's even worse. You would expect your leader to be better and smarter than everyone else. Yes, you hold your leader to a higher standard. That's why he's a leader. If your leader does something really stupid, that makes you question whether or not he should be a leader.
But it's hard. You're gonna crack some eggs to make omelets, Homer. It's not all just.
Hold on. You've had leaders do all the things you talked about and have always done it privately. You've given us the story. None of them ever did it the way he did it. None of them ever. You can't even pick a player in the 50s that did it.
Well, I wasn't around then. You'd have to tell me. But
I know, but the story would be out.
But Homer, listen, man, Homer. It's a different era, too. It is. There's more media. There's more access. Guys are doing their own shows. It used to be I had to get to Jason Wilde. Hold up.
No one does it.
No, I would have to get to Jason Wilde, or you'd have to go to Homer to get your message out. Now guys are doing their own stuff. They're media stars themselves.
And they still don't do what he did. You're making your position even worse.
Micah Parsons has done it. Homer, guys have done it. I disagree. No, other players have too.
Find one. No.
I just told you, Micah Parsons did it. I just said it.
What did he say?
Micah Parsons.
What did he say?
You asked me for a question. I gave it to you. Micah blanket Parsons. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks? Oh, my guy's nowhere to be found. Justin Jefferson did it with the Vikings. Who's your quarterbacks? Who would you have? Didn't even list his guy. So guys do it.
Did he say, hold on, wait a minute. Did any of them say, we need a new, better quarterback? No,
I would bet Micah Parsons has said he needs a different corner. Yes, I think. Not a quarter, but yes.
And Micah Parsons is crazy, so if you want to hold on and go with Micah Parsons, you run with that.
I'm just telling you. I'm showing you an example of how young players look at this. All right. Jason, go ahead. Homer wore me out. I'm worn out.
I know the feeling.
Keep defending how wrong your position is.
I ain't defending. I'm telling you why it's happening.
Do you hold on?
I'm telling you why it's happening.
It isn't happening.
I'm not saying I love it. I'm telling you why it's happening.
Do you agree that players are more fragile now than ever? Yes or no?
100%. Yes.
Yeah. So doing this would even be worse now than it would have been a few years ago if someone had actually do it.
Yes or no?
Homer, players are also a lot more transparent now than they ever were before. It goes on both ends.
True. What? They're more what?
What? Players are also a lot more transparent. Guys would go on these shows. No, guys would go on these shows and tell you nothing. Now guys are being honest because they want to have media careers. They want to build their platform to make money. It's just different. Different isn't bad. Different is different.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead,
they still don't do this.
Last thing on this before we move forward, maybe. I don't think that Josh Jacobs went to Radio Row thinking, I'm going to send a message to the young wide receivers that they need to elevate their games. I don't think he was playing chess and everyone else was playing checkers. I think he got carried away in the energy of Radio Row, said some things that he does believe, but if he had been thinking about it, he probably wouldn't have said them publicly. I also think he really wants Davante Adams on his team. I think he's with a team that used to have Davante Adams. He played 2 years with Davante Adams. When he says they need a number one wide receiver who's a proven, real number one, there's only one guy he's thinking of. I think it's Davante Adams. And so I think that is what led to all the other stuff. Was he as adept in his framing of it as someone who does radio every day, like Tausch, who's a former player who does it really well, but doesn't have the same...
every other player in the league for the last 50 years, and including all the fragile young players now, that would also be accurate. You don't have to compare him to Tausch. Compare him to any player. Any.
Well, no, I think there's other probably players that will be down. We don't care because they're not talking about the team we focus on. But I'm guessing...
Somebody said they needed a new number one at a position. It'd be a lead story, just like
right.
it.
But I'm guessing that over the years at Radio Row, other players, that are talking at various radio stations have said things that they shouldn't have said about their team. I think that's most likely the case. We don't care about them because they don't factor into the Packers. My point is that I don't think he was doing this to be a leader, to send a message to the young receivers to get their blank together. I think he really wants Davante Adams on his team, and this is how he went about it. That's what I believe. And if and when we talk to Josh Jacobs, I will ask him that because I think this is about Davante. I don't think he's sitting there going, Goody's got to trade for T. Higgins. I don't think that's what he's thinking. I think he's focused on Davante. That's my opinion. He also talked about the quarterback, and we talked about the breadcrumbs of leading us to believe that his comments about the wide receivers and his comments about the quarterback mean that he believes that it's more on the receivers than the quarterback, that they weren't as good. Do you agree with that assessment if that's what Josh Jacobs believes?
No. I believe it was mostly on the head coach. Did a horrible job, given the change in offense. I expected way better from him, and I'm holding him to a high standard because I thought it was very good at this stuff. Mm-hmm. Not even close. These are young receivers versus somebody who's been a coordinator and been very successful. The biggest problem with last season was the poor performance of LaFleur.
Tausch, you were critical of Matt LaFleur at multiple turns last year. Did we find something that you and Uncle Homer can agree on here?
What am I agreeing to?
That he had a horrible year.
Matt LaFleur had his worst year as a coach last year, yeah. I've said I couldn't have been more clear throughout this regular season. It just, I thought the year that they missed the playoffs with Rodgers his last year, that whole London debacle was PP. He just never kind of figured it out. But he made a change, and he got his defense massively improved from where they were. So that's why I'm not crushing him. Offensively, they had some transition. And I have to keep reminding myself that they're way ahead of schedule according to what the last year was an outlier. They were rapidly improved from where I think we all thought. And then this year we just assumed it would take off from there like a rocket ship. And unfortunately, there was a lot of chop, and we had dips, and we never quite figured the formula out to beat good teams. That is a process. You can't skip it. Green Bay couldn't. And so you can blame Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur take plenty of heat, no doubt about it. But I'm not going to crush him to the same degree as Homer. I have said he did not have a great year, but I think the wide receivers not developing. If you want to put that on Matt LaFleur, great. But they didn't take the jump that we had hoped that they would.
No, I'll accept that. I just hold him to a way different standard than young receivers. By the way, before I leave, I do want to give credit to Tauscher for maybe now it's his greatest idea ever. And I would hope that if the NFL accepts it, they will call it a Tauscher. The idea to play flag football like the Olympics, and that they do it at the Pro Bowl, and they institute that immediately. Even though Olympics are every 4 years, but it's just a fantastic
the flag
idea.
Football National Championship.
Whatever you call it, whatever. You deserve all the credit.
Okay.
It should be done immediately. It would create interest in the Pro Bowl, but more than that, it would help create interest in flag football, which has become huge for girls, women, and so and there might be some players that would want to be on the U.S. team. It turns something that they have destroyed. I mean, the Pro Bowl was never great. But they have made it so bad now that no one even watches it, and this would make it the best Pro Bowl game ever. It becomes like Olympic, national, and all because of Tausch now. Awesome. Your challenge to ever come up with an idea as good as this. I don't see that it's possible, but that's not because of you.
I've had a bunch.
This is so good.
And I feel like there's been some that are better, but this is the most recent, and we have recent.
This is Olympic. Here. This is international.
I know. It's
this
really
is
good.
Changing the world. This is getting everybody
really
watching.
Good idea.
It.
Yeah, I agree.
And all these
agree with everything you said.
All these players, like Djokovic was in tennis, where wanted to go. These players now have a chance to win something they never thought possible by being a football player, getting a gold medal, and all because Tauscher and his idea changed everyone's view.
Thank you for your service,
trailblazer.
Yeah, difference maker,
world changer, no big deal.
Historic.
Homer, one last question. I was just watching this during the break leading into your visit.
About Middleton?
No, but if you'd like to talk about that instead, please.
Nothing matters other than doing whatever keeps Giannis happiest. It's all about whatever you have to do to help him want to come back. Tim Van Born said it greatly last night. He said, you want to show Giannis you're trying. Well, whatever they believe they have to do to help keep Giannis here, that's what you do. And that should be behind everything. And
you still at a coin toss? You still at a coin toss that he's a buck next year?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It might be I might be low down to 49% because Middleton was really close. But I give the credit to the Bucks. I give him the benefit of the doubt that I assume everything they're doing is based on what they feel the need to do to keep Giannis as happy as they can. So, yeah. And, of course, he can't talk about it. No one's going to talk about it because then it makes Giannis like the guy. Just understand that Nick Nurse would be the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks if Giannis had approved it. And you start from there as to their understanding and approach, which is wise, that he determines if he wants to have
Maybe we should have learned lessons that you want your star players to be engaged and part of the process, but not the ultimate decision maker because it hadn't worked. Giannis hired a different coach. That guy didn't even make it 40 games.
Yeah, but in defense of Giannis, I don't know. The mistake that was made is when they decided to change after with Bud's last year, and the only thing that went wrong is Giannis got hurt. They should have said, everything's staying the same. We'll just hope Giannis stays healthy. And instead, they changed everything. Giannis got hurt again, and it went to hell. So I don't know that he was a part of that to where they could have easily said, because back then, I don't know if Edens took over. The only reason they won a title is who was the other guy? Lasry was the guy in charge, and he didn't do anything. Edens has been the problem from day one. They're doing a lot of stuff maybe now for Edens to save
Jimmy
money
Haslam?
and/or no, he's not in charge yet. But I would assume Edens will probably sell his portion, and that he'll be he'll be the only owner at some point of the Bucks. I'm not willing to bet a whole lot on that, but no, they got to show they're doing stuff. Maybe not just for Giannis, but for Edens too. I don't know. He's they would have fired Bud had Edens been in charge even before they won the title. He's never. But anyway, all that's secondary. Just whatever keeps Giannis happy, but that's going to be tough.
Winning.
Yes, well, I know, because that's tough. It's very unlikely. How far do they have to go? Yeah. I would have liked to have kept Middleton, because I would have liked to have seen the old guys get one more chance and hope that Giannis stayed healthy. But
we should have traded Middleton for Doncic. Is what we should have done.
Yes. Yes.
Another one of your great ideas.
Maybe Connaughton. They might have Connaughton for Doncic. There's. Yeah.
You never know.
Run with that.
Unless you ask, as you find out, you never know. You have to get an answer.
Yeah, all they can say is no. That's correct. And now they got a center from the Knicks who played for Shaka Smart at Texas. Sim. Got to ask Shaka about him. You probably didn't even know that, did you?
Nope.
No. You might never hear of him much on the Bucks either. I don't know.
All right, Homer, thanks.
Bye.
That is Steve the Homer True. That was a whirlwind. Never know which turns we're going to make.
A lot of moving parts.
Made a few. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the Uncle Homer on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Johnson & Sons Paving. Potholes are a pain when they pop up in your asphalt. Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole lot. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN, and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. Don't let the chilly weather end your golf season. X Golf and American Family Field is open all year round. They've got innovative and accurate golf simulators, all overlooking left field at AmFam Field. Enjoy daily lunch specials or have an outing with your friends and take in X Golf's full bar and food menus. X Golf AmFam Field is even offering golf lessons by a PGA Pro. Everyone is welcome at X Golf AmFam. Book your sim today, xgolfamfamfield.com. I'll see you out there.
I haven't had anything to eat for days, and being hungry hurts.
Going without oil changes can destroy your engine, but it doesn't compare to the effect of going without food. That's why the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee is determined to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. Through March 1st, they'll donate $1 from every oil change to Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. Every dollar provides 3 healthy meals. Over the past 14 years, Adam has donated over $890,000, providing more than 2.6 million meals to people across southeast Wisconsin, the majority being children and seniors. And with today's ongoing challenges, the need is greater than ever. So help the hungry while helping your vehicle. Get your oil changed by Adam Dealer Factory Trained Techs at a price as low or lower than independent shops. Visit an Adam member dealer near you.
For a list of participating dealers, visit adamm.com.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Thanks to Homer. We always enjoy our time with him, although guys got after each other a little bit there. Do you agree? Twofold question here. Do you agree that everything the Bucks do has to be with only one thing in mind, and that is keeping Giannis happy so he stays? And then the corollary question that I have, because that's what Homer said as we were winding down with him. And then the corollary question I have is, do you think what they've done has made him happy?
I think we're at the point now where 3 or 4 years ago, everything had to revolve around Giannis. If we've been doing that, are we getting the results we're hoping for? And the answer has been no. And I know you'd say, well, you've done everything you've asked. Yeah, and injuries suck. They have taken away probably at least one, maybe 2 other really good championship opportunities. But I think
people forget, by the way.
Those are it is what it is, especially Giannis missing as much time, and then even when he was back, not being healthy. You take Giannis out of the equation. Unfortunately, the Bucks found ways to win games without him on their championship run. Giannis plays so hard. I don't know how long. I don't think he's going to be like LeBron. I don't think he's going to be playing into his 40s. And I have always been a star player's rule, and I will continue to, especially in the NBA. But I do think you have to start looking at, has this formula been working? I don't think the answer is yes. Is Giannis happy? Giannis seems like he's just a happy-go-lucky guy. But they've only got one championship, and that was a big championship and, great for everyone involved. But it will be disappointing if Milwaukee, if that is all they end up having. And I think we're getting to that point now where you have to start looking at this thing big picture and say, all right, we're going for it. We got Dame. But if this ends up in another first-round exit, what are you going to do? Because Giannis has got, I don't know how many years he's got left. I don't want him ever leaving Milwaukee. But what I don't want to have happen is you flounder around for 3 or 4 more years and you have first-round knockouts every year, and then all of a sudden you're sitting here in 4 years, you're going to be with like the Chicago Bulls, where you don't have a star player and you got nothing to even look forward to. Sylvia's wrote them off. You won't even watch them.
Right.
I don't want that either. So I think you got to be – it's not – I think things have changed a little bit. That's all.
It's a good point. All right, we'll get to the 11 o'clock hour. We got a lot of trivia to catch up on this week as well, the way things have played out with a few things this week.
We have to draw a winner from last week? What are you guys doing around here?
No, I'm sure Homer and Riley did that on Friday. I'm sure they did.
While you were finishing some of the stenciling at the Pickler.
You guys didn't even draw.
Don't look at
a
me.
Winner?
You were the only one of the three of us who was here on Friday. This is on you, old T.
I had to cut a ribbon. We were cutting ribbons.
Yes, and you chose not to. How did it go, by the way?
It went fine, but we didn't. Yeah, the ribbon got cut. Scissors worked. Everything was good.
Well,
what am I going to play you up there?
Probably the draft. I would think the draft. We'll go over there and play. Be my guess.
I'm pretty good.
Wait, Jesse's showing off his moves. Meanwhile, Steinhafels is showing off their great selection of Beauty Rest black mattresses. And right now, if you test rest a Beauty Rest black mattress at Steinhafels, you'll have a chance to win a dream vacation to Hawaii. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at just $399, and you can add an adjustable base and save up to $900 more. Queen Beauty Rest black mattresses start at just $38 a month when you use Steinhafels 60-month financing. Plus, you'll get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash on top of that. Don't overpay for a good night's sleep. Shop Steinhafels Beauty Rest mattresses in-store and online at steinhafels.com. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Casey and Philly are ready to kick off. The question is, are you ready? HD TVs in every room. Check. The grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to stock up for the biggest football game of the year. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. Online at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't
and Tausch begins now. We spent a lot of time talking about Josh Jacobs, but I know not everyone listens from start to finish. So if you tuned in late...
Jesse, what are the Dwellers doing today? You haven't given us any Dweller updates.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about the quality of the wide receivers and whether or not Josh Jacobs is speaking out of school or if he said things he wasn't supposed to say.
Can anyone answer the question I put out on Twitter?
You put a question out on Twitter?
I did.
What question was that?
Tell me why we wouldn't bring Davante home.
Stunt the growth of the other wide receivers, developing into the number one receiver.
That's your answer?
Well, no, I thought we were going to get Kay Adams there, too. There we go. Thank you very much.
You got T. Palm on there yet, or is T. Palm
No, he's long gone from the system here.
That's too bad.
I don't think T. Palm made the switch from the old studio to the new studio like 3 years ago.
I don't think he did either. Yeah, we didn't. That's not very good. There is no reason other than if he is going to cost a small fortune, which I don't know.
He won't.
So all right. So let me ask you, because I don't think there's any reason other than money. And even money is not a great reason. But when I mentioned Cooper Kupp, and right now his contract calls for him to make $20.5 million this year. But there are reports that the Rams are going to pay him his roster bonus as kind of a thank you for your service on his way out the door, which then reduces what the new team would have to pay him to $12.5 million. And I think that made you slightly more interested in him.
Yeah, I was more intrigued, but
still, no, you want Davante. My question is...
No, I do want Davante.
Yeah, right. Yes, I know you do. So the reason I brought up the Cooper Kupp thing is what do you think the number is for Davante Adams? Like, he's scheduled to make $35 million. He is not going to get $35 million. What's the number?
He might get 35 guaranteed over a 2-year deal, and you can earn, somewhere between 20 and 25 a year. I think that's fair for a number, for someone where Davante's at. I don't think you want to get into paying him anywhere close to Justin Jefferson, which is 35. I think the most I'd want to pay him is 25 a year. Split that up over a 2-year, 3-year deal because I don't think you're going to trade for him. I don't know if the Jets – I'm not sure what the Jets are thinking. I mean, if I'm the Jets, I'm thinking let's lock Davante down and keep him for a couple more years, and whatever young quarterback you're bringing in, be a nice little guy to have develop with. But Davante doesn't want that. And then do you want to have somebody that doesn't want to be there? He wants to be back in Green Bay. It certainly feels that way. I think he wants to right a wrong where he kind of felt like he screwed up. And hopefully that is how this will shake itself out. But my guy Ingles, Ken Ingles-Wilder.
Laura Ingles-Wilder?
He put out on Twitter, and I thought this was really interesting. Do you know what Jordan Love's making this year?
No.
You know how much?
No.
How do you not know what Jordan Love's making? His salary, $13 million, right? Is that accurate?
I don't know. I thought Laura Ingalls-Wilder was your go-to person for contract information.
I wanted you to confirm because I want this to be accurate. $13 million. So the Packers are under the cap already.
All right. So it would be great if I understood your question because
what's his base salary?
That is not what you. That's the first time you've said the words base salary.
Okay, my bad. $13 million. The bottom line is Ken Ingles has put this out.
His base salary is $11.9 million.
That's why I asked you. The bottom line is, and this is where I was looking at this, the Packers, after they move pieces around, which they always do, are going to be able to have monster amount of salary cap to make big moves, to make some plays. They don't have to, and we've seen other teams do this and get in trouble, but Jordan Love's big salary cap numbers aren't coming on this year's cap. There are opportunities to make these big splashes.
Okay.
And when I hear Goody say urgency and things of that nature, it makes me think that's going to happen. And Devontae's, I don't even know if you consider that a big splash move if it's going to end up being, $20 million. All
right. I want to rewind here because, again, the base salaries mean very little. What matters is what is your cap charge and what percentage of the cap are you taking up, right? Would you agree with that from a quarterback perspective? He got a $75 million signing bonus that it gets spread out over the years. So his cap hit for this season is $29.757 million. That is 10.82% of the cap. Next year, it jumps to $36 million and 12.3% of the cap. The year after that, it's $42 million and 13.5% of the cap. And then in 2028, which they are never, ever, 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 ever going to have him under this contract, he has a $43 million base salary, and he is counting, wait for it, $74 million against the cap. Okay? So they are going to continue to extend him as long as he proves he is the guy. They have an out after the 2026 season if they want to, where the dead cap hit versus what he would have counted against the cap makes it realistic that if for some unknown reason they wanted to move on from him. But the bottom line is he still counts $30 million against the cap this year. Like, he's not the reason why they've got room to operate. The reason they've got room to operate is because they don't have anybody of significance under big contracts that are recent. We know they've got the Rashawn Gary deal. We know we've got the Kenny Clark deal, but they're not going to be signing any of their own guys to big contracts. They cleared all of the Rodgers money off of their cap last year, so they are in great fiscal shape. They're at like $50 million before their draft class, probably closer to $30 million. I don't know what Ken Ingles has. He loves this stuff. He's very good at it. But my point is that they can create more space if they need to. It's not a question of money in terms of having it on hand or having the cap space. The question I have is, does Goody, who was unwilling to extend Adams when he had the opportunity to, and then played this kind of semantics game about, we offered him more than the Raiders on his way out the door after he was too pissed to take it anyway. Kind of like, we made an offer to Jordy Nelson and it was insulting, so he didn't take it after Rodgers and Adams told him not to. Like, does Goody want him back? Because ultimately, that's the person that's going to decide this. It's not the cap. It's not Russ Ball. It's not Josh Jacobs. It's not Jordan Love. It's not Matt LaFleur. So does Goody want him back or not? And if that is tied to a number, what is the number? That's why it matters. And I don't know what the number is. And by the way, the Jets still have him. Like, they have to release him or trade him. But, there's no, question here, like with Rodgers, about whether Devontae wants to play this year. Devontae wants to play, and he wants to play somewhere. Clearly, it's Green Bay that is going to further make his Hall of Fame credentials worthy of Canton. And he wants to win a Super Bowl because he's never won anything. He's been to 3 NFC championship games with the Packers? Lord knows he didn't win anything with the Raiders or the Jets. So those are all the factors here. You want him back. I want him back. Do you think Goody wants him back? And what number does it have to be at for him to want him back? That's the question. And I don't know the answer.
Those are good questions. Those are good questions.
Let's play some trivia. Jesse, did you want to pick a winner before you pick a caller?
Yes, let's go ahead and pick a winner.
I hope it's somebody that already played this week.
We've only done it once this week, I think, right?
Dan and Brothertown.
We haven't played trivia since I've come back. Yeah, I don't know how these numbers necessarily correlate last week. Joe in Milwaukee. I don't know exactly what the category was or even particularly when he played because I don't know how it all worked, but he's the winner from last week. Nice job, Joe.
Cruise trivia. I think it was cruise trivia. All right. Jesse, what's today's category and how many callers and which ones do we need?
Yeah, so it's a double back end of the week this week because we didn't play Tuesday. We didn't play Wednesday. So now we've got trivia today and tomorrow. We're going to have 2 contestants each day. Today we're rolling over from yesterday. Double.
Why don't we do triple Thursday trivia? Why don't we do triple?
We've been over this. We can't do 3 at once. We can do it. It's very, very difficult.
Well, wait, can we or can't?
It's can or can't. Are we can? Or we can't?
We will pick a time where we will try to do once triple trivia, and we will show you how much of a debacle will be.
Let's do it today.
Nope, we are not prepared to do it today.
I'll come up with 3 questions.
You really want to come up with 3 geography questions in 4 minutes?
It won't be geography. It'll be just whatever's on my mind.
Hansel and Gretel trivia.
So you want to do Up North Joe's geography trivia, my geography trivia?
I don't want to put you out. I know how stressed out you are. Let's just do our thing.
All right, caller 9 and caller 13. Caller 9 and caller 13, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 9 will get to choose between Up North Joe's questions and Jesse's questions. Caller 13 will get the other one. 844-770-3776. We will play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hey guys, Josh DiMaggio here. Don't be like me and wait till the last minute. Valentine's Day is almost here. Impress that special someone with a handcrafted bouquet from Flowers for Dreams. Order a bouquet online at flowersfordreams.com or visit their Walker's Point location. Use code ESPN at checkout for 15% off your bouquet, or this year, try something new with tickets to their date night open studio workshop on Friday, February 14th. Every Valentine's bouquet benefits an amazing local Milwaukee charity. That's flowersfordreams.com, code ESPN.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Don't miss a day of non-stop basketball action at the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th at Fiserv Forum. Catch all the exciting plays as 10 high school boys basketball teams hit the court. Watch 5 games featuring state-powered Kettle Moraine along with Nicolet, Milwaukee Juneau, Kohler, Sun Prairie East, and Racine Park. General admission tickets are just $15 and are valid for all 5 games. See the full schedule and get your tickets today at FiservForum.com. Be there for the Deer District Prep Showcase on Saturday, February 8th.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win real cash. Check out the promos tab to tail any of our Super Sweat Millie winners big game lineups. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win a split of $1 million in promo funds. Download the app today and use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
Experience the timeless charm of the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's premier boutique hotel. With its stunning architecture and modern comforts, every detail tells a story. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a business trip, or simply a night away, you'll find elegance, history, and a warm welcome waiting for you. The Knickerbocker on the Lake, where every moment feels like a chapter from the past, written just for you. Visit knickerbockeronthelake.com to book your stay today. An unforgettable getaway awaits.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I don't wanna move on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone for good. You're slipping through my fingertips a little bit by a little bit. I didn't know the love of you was the happiest I've ever been. So I'm just trying to hold on. Hold on. I don't wanna know what it's like when you're gone. I don't wanna move on.
So there are 2 times in the past where we have gotten excited or intrigued by transactions that did not last very long. Of course, the most famous one was when the Packers were signing Josh Jacobs, and Tausch and I thought, Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones in the same backfield? That lasted, about 45 minutes?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Then, years earlier, there was the trade that brought Sam Decker, friend of show, former Badger, Final Four teammate, to the Bucks. Sam Decker from Sheboygan as a Buck. And that lasted about 20 minutes, if I recall. And then he was flipped and traded to someone else. Well, here's number 3. Shams Charania tweets, the Milwaukee Bucks are trading Patrick Baldwin Jr. and cash to San Antonio. So Patrick Baldwin, the former UW-Milwaukee standout, lasting, at least it was 24 hours or so that he was apparently briefly a Buck.
Hey, I thought Cash got traded yesterday. Am I right?
I don't have access to the K Adams button.
Hey,
Homer.
Jesse, can we do? You have your 2 callers and your 2 contestants. Matt Coonan tweeted me 3 questions. Can we get a third?
No.
Can we pull this off?
No.
If he tweeted you the questions, you can't use those as the trivia questions for... No, we can't do... No.
Why?
Next week, we will do triple trivia. Here's what we'll do. We will do an end of the NFL season.
I thought you were going to say end of show triple trivia.
We will do an end of the NFL season special triple trivia, recapping the NFL season. We will do that next week. We'll do 3 contestants, and I'll show you how much of a madhouse it will become.
All right.
I will promise you that.
Well, in the interim, we're going to play double Wisconsin Geography Wednesday trivia on Thursday. Let's welcome in our contestants.
Sorry, I turned your mic off
because
you kept... What?
So we can't pull this off, is what you're saying.
Today we are not going to pull it off. No.
Okay.
Thank you to your efforts and Coonan's efforts and everybody's effort. It's not happening.
Why don't we just do one day of 5 trivias next week while we're at it?
I'm taking that day off.
All right, let's welcome in our contestants. First caller 9, it is Mike the Wedding DJ. Mike, good morning. How are you?
I am well. I am eligible to be traded by the Bucks too if they want to.
For cash and past considerations. And then caller 13 is Joe in Brookfield. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great. Very good. Thank you.
Mike, you were the first of the 2 callers. Do you want Up North Joe's trivia questions or do you want Jesse's questions?
I already told Skinny Jesse I want his questions. I don't trust Joe.
I don't trust him any farther than I can throw him. With your bad knee, you shouldn't throw anybody.
So
all right.
Who's doing Coonan's? Did we get the third caller yet? Who's doing?
Whoa, Nelly! Did something happen during the course of the show that caused the tenor to change slightly, or you're just in the mood to be difficult now? Are you mad at us for something? I don't know.
Mad?
Well, you're kind of being. You're kind of making it difficult. It's 11:32, and I'm trying to get the trivia done.
I didn't mean. I don't want to be difficult. I'm just gonna sit back. Okay. All right. Lesson learned.
All right, sit back, relax, take a beat, have a meal with Lois, and listen to trivia question number 1 from Jesse to Mike the Wedding DJ. What is the 3-letter airport code designated for Mitchell International Airport in Milwaukee? Is it MIL, MKE, or Deuces B?
Sorry, I was laughing. Is that the third one? What are the first 2 again?
MIL or MKE?
It's MKE.
All right, Joe, your first question is this. The strait between the northern tip of Door County and Washington Island is known by what name? Is it the Strait of Door, Death's Door, or the Gulf of Wisconsin?
I think it's Death's Door.
It is indeed Death's Door. Well done. Question 2, Mike. Longitudinally.
Oh, snap.
Which of these Wisconsin cities is located farthest west? Is it Fitchburg, Franklin, or Fall River? Farthest west.
God. Oh, I know it's not Franklin. So Fitchburg or Fall River, and I don't really know where Fall River is, so I'm going to guess Fall River.
I think it's Fitchburg.
You don't know where Fall River is, so you're going to guess Fall River?
Yeah, because I know where Fitchburg is, and since Fitchburg is south central Wisconsin, I got a 50-50 chance that Fall River is east or west of there.
Yeah, I think his reasoning is pretty good.
Okay. All right. Well, it didn't work out for you. The correct answer was, in fact, Fitchburg. All right, Joe, question 2 for you.
Okay. Up north, Joe is offended that Mike the Wedding DJ did not trust him. Doesn't particularly like those comments in the private text line.
Which would make Mike the Wedding DJ the Josh Jacobs of our show. Question 2, Joe, is this. The SS Edmund Fitzgerald departed which of these Wisconsin ports on her final ill-fated journey? Was it Superior, Marinette, or Muskego?
I think it was Lake Superior.
Well done, 2 for 2. All right.
Have you figured out the nautical theme to Joe's trivia questions yet?
I have. Yes, I did.
It's cute.
Question 3, Mike / Josh. In which Wisconsin county did Wisconsin Badgers star Carter Gilmore play high school basketball? Was it Walworth County, Wood County or Waukesha County?
I'm going to get, I don't know this one. I know he's almost from Wisconsin. I'm going to guess Waukesha County.
Jesse?
Carter Gilmore played his high school basketball at Arrowhead, which is in Heartland, which is in Waukesha County.
No way! Wow.
Right by Fall River.
Total guess.
All right,
guess.
question 3, Joe, is this. In 1634, Jean Nicolet, the first European to explore present-day Wisconsin, landed at the Red Banks, located near which of these cities? Was it Milwaukee, Mugwanago, or Green Bay?
I think it's Milwaukee.
I think you are wrong.
Oh, shoot.
Green Bay for Jean Nicolet. All right, so each of you got one wrong. That means each of you got 2 of the 3 right, which means each of you get 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We will have 2 more contestants tomorrow, and then we'll get ready for next week's triple trivia, or maybe even quintuple trivia. We do 5 questions or 5 contestants on Wednesday for geography, but for today we just had 2. Mike, thanks for playing. We appreciate you.
Love you guys.
And Josh, thanks for Josh. Not Josh. Joe. The Josh Jacobs thing threw me off. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you as well.
Thank you. Love you guys, too. Yeah, right on.
I love you guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch trivia. I can tell there's disappointment.
Can you save that right on as a hotkey when I'm making a really good point?
Sure.
And just
No.
why couldn't
we?
right on? Why not?
I just don't want to.
That was nice.
I
Okay.
just don't want to.
Yeah,
all right.
That sounds about right.
Well, that's trivia. We need to get to Whoa Nelly. Come on. You would acknowledge now that was over the top, right, from her? Yeah? Mm-hmm.
I think she generally thought it was funny, though. Like, I don't think it was as insincere as you think it was.
It was loud. I know that. Kind of a cackle. All right. I want to remind you, we've talked a lot of Packers today. We talk a lot of Packers every day. It's because that's what we talk about around here is the Packers. And at Associated Bank, what they talk about is, yes, the Packers and Packers checking and Packers debit MasterCard and 10% off the Packers Pro Shop. But what they talk most about, of course, is great customer service. That is their focus. Got a text from Ben Sorensen, my guy up here in Green Bay the other day. I got to go see him for some questions that I had about our accounts. He provides that great customer service like everyone at Associated Bank does. And they also provide great perks for you as an Associated Bank customer, like Credit Monitor, like early pay on direct deposits, like that $50 overdraft grace zone. And, of course, with more than 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So come on over, as Tausch likes to say. Come on over. Come on over to Associated Bank.
Like to say, come on in. Water's warm is what I like saying.
Come on in. The money is well protected, and the customer service is great.
Jesse, if you prize pick Jason's account, what do you set the more or less then?
This seems incredibly inappropriate.
Well, you like doing it to people, asking their social security
It is less
number
IPT to sit in the back seat all the way to St. Louis watching White Lotus.
Well, maybe that's... No, White Lotus isn't available yet.
Whoa, Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Come see Pal at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show February 14th through the 16th. Learn about our incredible design team with an ability to customize windows to match your unique home. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin is now offering windows as low as $22 per month and doors as low as $89 per month. Rest easy with our 10-year installation warranty. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a complimentary DesignWorks consultation and a Pella Care inspection. Visit PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America: Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri. Copyright 2024.
Hey, Bucks fans, enjoy Michelob Ultra at Maddie's Bar and Grill, Papa Stash, Tavern on 6, Joe Cat's Pub, Camp Bar Wauwatosa, Maxwell's, Thirsty Buck, State Street Pizza, and Stenny's Lake Country. Michelob Ultra, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. Happy New Year. How's business? Do you really know? We recently worked with several clients who thought they knew, but they didn't because their books were not in order. Imagine thinking you were making $1 million, but because your books are a mess, you were really only making $200,000. Quite a difference. Imagine finding out expenses were not recorded properly or sales were double recorded. If these happen to you, we can help. We work with our clients to clean up their books and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or your place of business. Yes, we like to visit our business clients. Don't wait any longer. Call 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
It's on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world 'cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes 'cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time before we learn how to fly. Welcome to the...
I don't like to share private communication, but I'm going to. In our group text, maybe one of the best Whoa Nellies ever coming up next. Per Jesse Nelson. We'll be the judges of that. Let's go.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
2025 on Wilde and Tausch, the year we check the tape. The question is, did Tausch say this on February 2nd, 2024 or February 5th, 2025?
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't know if I felt better about a Badger basketball team than since the Frank Kaminsky, Sam Decker era. Like, that's how good I feel about this team. A matter of fact, I started looking and thinking, and I don't want to get out in front of my skis. This is a Final Four team. And if they get the right matchups, they're built for it. They are built for it.
I know the answer to that. That was in 2024. Because he said roughly the same thing yesterday, but just in different words.
It could have been yesterday. He said it, well.
I think I said that yesterday.
Let's find out when we play clip number 2.
All I'm going to say is I walked away super impressed, and I ain't going to be scared to say that this team can make the Final Four. That's crazy to say right now because we don't know the brackets. This team's good enough. They are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
yeah, that's yesterday. That last year. I didn't say that last year. I didn't say anything about brackets.
You said the exact same thing, almost exactly a year, 3 days different. February 2nd of last year to February 5th of this year. They tanked after you said it last year. Why would you fall for the same thing again this year?
Because I want the Badgers to win. I want the Badgers to win.
Well, then maybe don't make such bold statements.
Well, I'll say this. I didn't realize the store stuff, all that stuff that was going on last year, and the fact that it fell off a cliff. This team, and again, take it for what it's worth, which isn't a lot. I want to see him win. I want to see him do big things. And this group, watching the game live, not on Peacock, on Tuesday night, they got a little something about them. There's just a good vibe. And I don't think I said anything about vibes. I want this team to win, Jessen. And I don't know if they're going
Homer,
but I'm excited about them. Yeah, whatever.
I feel like you didn't enjoy that as much as I wanted you to.
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that was fantastic. You usually oversell things. I didn't think you oversold that.
Like, did we miss the punchline?
They are.
Okay, so
I didn't say that last year.
No, you did.
I didn't say that last year. It was almost the exact same 20-second clip.
Yeah, I'm consistent. I want the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team to win a Final Four. That's what I'd like to see.
Whoa, Nelly!
Does the NBA have the best trade deadline? It's at 2 o'clock this afternoon. A lot of great moves happening all week long. Obviously, the big news with Chris Middleton yesterday, Luka Doncic over the weekend. Some still speculating whether Kevin Durant could get moved before the deadline this afternoon from the Phoenix Suns. I think the NBA has figured out how to do the trade deadline and free agency in the offseason the best of all the major American sports. Do you agree, Tausch?
I was just wondering why. I mean, they're taking up some oxygen in a Super Bowl window, which is impressive. Not a lot of other sports would be able to do that. So I give them credit for that, but I think I'd rather do it after the NFL season's done, and you can really kind of springboard the rest of the coverage into it. And you never know. I know the NFL moved its trade deadline back. I would say move it to the Thursday after the Super Bowl because you'd even get more. There would still be trades, and you wouldn't be kind of pushing it. So I think the NBA, the problem with the NBA is it's more intriguing off the court than it is on, where the NFL, I think it's still the on-field product, although the off-field stuff is getting more and more juicy as more and more player-empowered movements are going on. NBA has had that for a while. Move it back one more week.
I'm Team Tausch on this, but it still is the best one. The problem with the NBA, in my opinion, is that so often people are focused on transactions and who might be going where 2 years from now than they are on the actual basketball season. Right? Like Giannis, and is he going to get the Supermax and this and that, which we lived through? Like, it's always who's going where and who's unfollowing their team on social media. Like, that seems to be one of the favorite things of NBA fans, more so than the games themselves. So it's not surprising that the trade deadline is good. But, yeah, the trade deadline's really good. So is baseball, and the NFL is trying to make theirs more interesting, and I think they've succeeded in recent years, even if the Packers haven't brought anybody aboard at the trade deadline. All right, that is all for our Whoa Nelly, which the entirety of Whoa Nelly was not one of the best, but certainly playing those two clips was enlightening. I didn't say that last year.
I feel like, and listen, I want to be held accountable. That was holding me accountable. But what I think this might end up doing, I might have to start Wildeing and never give opinions on anything. That's the tricky part of this. That's that balance. Well, I'm just telling you.
Stop
that's
that.
the balancing act we got to play. No, it is. It is, Jesse.
You've never been scared to be held accountable before.
No, I want to be held accountable, but the fact that I said, and I really thought I said that earlier. I thought what I said, I thought last year's team was good after that Thanksgiving Day and the way they played up until the New Year. But I thought by February with Storr and they started dropping off a cliff, I didn't feel that way. But you ran the tape, and I said it, and if that date lines up, that ain't good.
You did say it earlier.
By me.
You
it's
did
bad.
say it earlier.
3 days.
Yeah. By 3 days.
Now, but if it would have been like early January, I would have felt really good about that.
Dude,
but the
when
fact
you said
that it was February,
but when you said it,
February's bad.
Plus, it was a leap year last year, so he had 4 extra days. Really,
you said
I have to be more. I got to be more guarded and cautious because that is a horrible take. That was bad.
No,
and I should be reprimanded for that analysis.
We did not think you were.
Analysis.
We thought you were a little ahead of in front of your skis, but they weren't. They were playing.
That's an F. I get an F.
They did.
I have to hold myself accountable.
Yeah, it's not like they missed the tournament.
I hate to do this. They made the Big Ten championship game in the tournament.
Like the number one important one seed in all time. All on me.
That's
and I have owned that. That is it because I felt that 100%.
Yeah.
This, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull back. I hate doing it, but this is what happens when you get held accountable. You have to learn lessons. Lesson learned for Old T.
We'll wrap things up late next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The 11th annual Big Cheese Classic is coming. On February 8th and 9th, this wheelchair basketball tournament brings top talent from across the nation to Wisconsin. Powered by the Wisconsin Adaptive Sports Association, this exciting event at Pewaukee High School promises to be a thrilling showcase of athleticism, competition, and inspiration. For more information, please call 262-613-7040 or email Melissa at wasa.org.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde and Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Cheer on Milwaukee Panthers women's basketball for an exciting weekend of hoops action at the Kalachi Center. On Thursday, Milwaukee takes on Robert Morris with tip-off at 6, followed by a Saturday matinee with Youngstown State at 2. Tickets for Panthers women's basketball games are just $7, and seats are up close to all the action. That's Panthers women's basketball on Thursday at 6 and Saturday at 2. Score your seats at mkepanthers.com. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves. Are you talking about the One Collection? Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Casey and Philly are ready to kick off. The question is, are you ready? HD TVs in every room. Check. The grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to stock up for the biggest football game of the year. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. Online at discountliquorinc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
ESPN.
Remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free. When I close my eyes, I could see you.
I'm sad. Not only are we late, but now Tausch, I don't want to say threatening. He's reevaluating.
Yeah,
just because
I just put myself on probation, and Jason is going to have to step up on my probationary period. So hopefully you're ready to roll, baby.
You could just ban yourself from predicting the Badgers have a Final Four team. I mean, it's a very narrow lane that you are getting called out on here.
Well, way to go, Jesse. You've ruined our show. We're going to be off the air within the next 6 months. That's it for us today.
No, you can step up your game, Jason. I feel good about that. You can step up. That's what happens.
Interesting approach. That now it's all on me. Great. That's it for us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WK.